Well, there's nothing like preparation, and that was nothing like preparation. A match which could have started earlier and slightly overran, so a very rushed sequence between that match where Italy defeated Norway, and now we see Spain in the field. Against the Isle of Man, who very handily have brought two kits with them. I was slightly concerned about the predominantly red and yellow kit earlier from the Isle of Man, which quite closely matches that of Spain, but they have this secondary kit, the away kit if you will, which is the yellow tops and the black trousers, and they've got away to a sprightly start here. Lucy Barnett, player of the match earlier on today. There's a Lucy Barnett, player of the match earlier on today. She's got the Isle of Man off to a decent start in this first over. Already into double figures. Lovely sunny day here in Desert Springs. We're in the province of Almeria, southern Spain. Yesterday morning's torrential rain has subsided to give way to sunny skies. It's been a firm breeze most of the day. Amy Brown Carrera is opening the bowling from Crocodile Club End. Nilkesh Patel taking the field again to partner Mark Chappell. Changing the field. Deep fine leg comes up to fine leg, but as a certain law would have it, the next ball goes out to the boundary near where deep fine leg was, and 2 runs, 2 byes are conceded. At 2 overs completed, score for Isle of Man 18 for no loss. And I've just moved seats. I nearly actually disappeared between the 2 seats. Very, very close run thing. Got some catching up to do, and it would also be nice to have someone with me who can read the graphics on the screen. Thea Brooks, who is yet to have the time. She's been working so hard, she's yet to have the time to finish her lunch, or in some cases start it. And my first comment to you, Thea, back on commentary, was going to be, we haven't got any team sheets. But luckily you were on the ball, or someone pressed them into your hand. Perhaps we'll never know which it was. The umpires on the ball. So Uswa Saeed is the bowler from the bearer end, and she's dropped that one short and has been comfortably pulled away for 4. So it's a slightly loose start from Spain, this. Yeah, how's your afternoon been?
Hello.
How are you? All right.
I'm okay. It's been great, thank you. I've seen some incredible cricket being played, and it's really lovely to see all the nations today. Because I know that yesterday, obviously, 2 were rained off, regardless of me only getting in for the 3rd. But it's exciting as this one's been skied in the air. Oh, that is a good catch.
It is a good catch, coming over the left shoulder. There were 2 fielders converging, which is always a distraction. But the ball found the spot that it needed to. And that was pouched by the long leg running around. Lovely moment there. You can see how much the Spain team enjoyed that one.
Well, I've also managed, whilst you were umpiring that game.
Was I?
I don't know if
Was I umpiring that one?
don't know if you want to know any of this, but no, I've managed to get onto the Cricket España YouTube channel.
Okay.
So on here, we've got the matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to load up this match that we've started now, and obviously the people that are watching can comment on the games. And if they've got any questions for us that we can answer, then we will do. I'll keep an eye on that for us, and then we can obviously fill them in with where people are from. You know, it'd be nice to know where you guys are actually watching this from, and anything else that you might want to share.
This is driven solidly down the ground, first ball. And of course, this is the first time we've got past the opening pair for Isle of Man in this tournament, because they won their match this morning by 10 wickets. So I don't know whether we've gone to the lengths of finding out how Ellen's surname is pronounced, but we think it's Cleater. Although, of course, if there was an R in place of the L, it would be Creator, so it would be very different. So we're going to go, I think, with Cleater, just to play it safe. So Ellen Cleater is the number 3 bat, and also the number 3 shirt. And it's Amy Brown Carrera. So continue from the Crocodile Club in. So this YouTube chat. Any interesting comments or questions during the last match while I was out on the field?
Not particularly. Just asking about obviously the different teams that are playing. You know, I can't give any opinion on who I think's the best team, to be honest, because I have no idea, and I probably wouldn't even if I did, because I'm, you know, got to be very careful with this nowadays.
Sitting on the fence, there's another 4 is pulled away.
But
to the fence.
Yeah, not many questions, to be honest. A lot of score predictions and, you know, comments about how the teams are getting on, which is always nice. And I've tried to encourage people to share the links with family and friends, you know, get as much publicity out there for the girls as possible.
Yep.
Oh, that's
a slash.
Strike.
Wide of third man.
My internet seems to not be working right now, so
Oh, it's because you've talked it up.
Struggling a little bit to get on the YouTube channel, so hold your comments closely until I can get on. And I can't wait to talk more about the sunsets when it happens.
Well, it's a hot topic, with no pun intended, because we've started this match around about 25 minutes late, knowing already that the sun would set some 11 minutes before the scheduled finish, so we're up against it in terms of daylight here in Desert Springs.
Well, it's interesting how we started 25 minutes late when the first game was finished at least 45 minutes early, if not more. And
It's been mentioned. I'm sure it'll be
considered
point of discussion
in future.
For the management.
Considered.
Yeah, I mean the match itself actually only finished 5 minutes later than its scheduled slot, but of course there was an opportunity to get in earlier. But we're out there now with the host nation playing the Isle of Man. Gosh, what difference in terms of geographical size these two nations are. Spain, a big country in European terms. Others would look at it and think it was tiny, but in terms of Europe, the smallest continent, Spain is a big country. And there's teeny tiny Isle of Man, just in the Irish Sea, somewhere between Anglesey and Northern Ireland.
And the good news is that I'm on the YouTube. I'm on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
So if there are any questions that you've got for us, then please send them through. It'd be great to see where everyone's tuning in from as well. That would be nice. So I see where our fan base are in the world.
Yeah, we want to know where they both are, don't we?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to.
Now, just fielding in front of us during that over was Naomi Hillman Bermejo. And I understand that you had someone close to her as your guest while I was out on the field.
We did.
Can these rumours be confirmed?
Well, she came and had a chat with me.
She did?
Which was fantastic.
And which innings was that in?
That was it was the start of the second innings of the last game.
Okay. And did you have any other guests? Who's been sitting in my chair? That's really what I want to know.
I did. So I had a father. So a father did the first innings with me.
Okay.
Then I had Naomi,
Mm-hmm.
the first few overs in the second innings. And then I had the CEO of Cricket Sweden, which I'm yet to find her name. So I do need to
How long did you talk to her for?
Quite a long time.
It's a long time not to know someone's name, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Not great.
Okay, so what's the most interesting thing that you found out?
The most interesting thing that I found out? There are 9 Swedish women's cricket teams that they have. there's probably about 200 women and girls that play in the country, which I found fascinating. They have no grass wickets out there at all.
For men or women?
For men or women.
Okay.
I mean, we spoke about women, but if they're saying there's no grass wickets, then I can only guess that they're...
Yes, if they had one, there's no reason why they'd keep it.
Yeah, exactly. And then for Cricket Spain, I just spoke to Naomi really about herself and her cricket that she's played, but she's absolutely loving playing for Cricket Spain. I think it's an incredible, I mean, as we've already said, it's an incredible opportunity and privilege to play for your country.
Mm-hmm.
So any international, regardless of who it is.
So for my benefit and those who are listening for the time, has Naomi ever lived in, obviously I presume she has a Spanish mother?
She does have a Spanish mother, yes. They have lived in Spain.
They have lived in Spain?
I believe they have lived in Spain, I'm pretty sure that's what Alan said. But they are in Hampshire at the moment, in the UK.
Yeah, Hursley Park Cricket Club. Used to be rivals of my old club, Hook and Newnham Basics Cricket Club. Quite a long name. Yeah, Hursley Park were big rivals apparently. Their men's section is on the wane, but their women's section is on the way up, and you don't hear that too often.
It's fantastic to hear.
Not necessarily about the men's section. Although, as they were our rivals, it's, I take some small pleasure out of it. So, I don't really want to ever hear a club going down and down and down. It's always a shame when that happens. Now, this time yesterday, we only had occasional sun glimpses, and we were regaled with all the graphics.
Which I keep blocking with things.
Today it's a little trickier to pick them out, but I believe we're through 5 overs and Isle of Man on 39 for 1.
We are, can confirm. Run rate of 8 and over, 8.07.
Now,
it's a good start from the Isle of Man.
Being as I switched hats for the second match of the day, from commentator to umpire, I don't know which one you have to be more observant for. I think possibly you have to be observant for both, but even more so for umpiring, I would say. And so I was in full observation mode.
Going well here. Currently the Isle of Man striking at 8 and over, always very good in a power play with the loss of only the 1 wicket, and still 5 balls left. So as we know in the power play it's 2 out, and Spain have decided to go with 1 out, which is long off.
And it is Naomi herself who's come on to bowl. Haven't seen her bowl before. Naomi Hillman, I think it was Carmejo, was her second surname, following the Spanish naming tradition. Bermejo, excuse me. Didn't remember that quite right.
Beautiful surname.
Got most of the letters right, except for the first one, I think. Maybe the second one.
Well, she said to me that she's been a part of the Southern Vipers Academy, or going through the academy, which is really, really good, under the watchful eyes of Charlotte Edwards.
Okay.
So a name that we've mentioned many a time, so she's had some work with her, as she might almost got her first wicket as the ball just dropped. I think that might have been a chance though, just dropped towards, well, it looks like they've got a couple of points going on here. It's
sort of a standard point and a cover point.
Cover point.
Similar headgear on. Can't see the numbers from here. So anyway, going back to observation,
Yes.
I just wanted to ask you, because I care about you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you how the toss went for this game.
To be honest, I have no idea, because I was still finishing this.
Okay.
I didn't even see the toss. I just heard the guys come over and came and spoke to me and said Spain have won the toss and decided to field. I went, oh, okay. So I can't tell you who did the toss or where it happened.
Okay. Well, I can fully reveal.
Can you let me know?
This is slightly odd what happened. is that both the third umpire Neil Kesh came over with the two captains and someone who looked like they were taking photos on their mobile, and they did the toss right to your left here, where we have
That's what they were doing.
where we have our TV backdrop, which is designed for the TV cameras. So they walked all the way over from the pavilion to the TV backdrop position, and they only forgot two minor factors.
Right.
They forgot a TV camera.
Yeah. And one of us.
And a commentator to go over what was going on. But
Right.
It was interesting they came over to the TV area to do the toss without either a commentator or a TV camera. So look, there's development going on out there in the middle. We said this is a new Audi Orbisuales Murcia, who production team, are not that new to us. They've been involved in various things around Europe, but obviously they've got new team members. And you're new to us as well.
I am.
So this is development's not just going out on there in the middle.
Not at all.
So what we're going to do tomorrow, because it doesn't sound silly to say this already, it's our last day together.
It is.
Well, for now.
For now.
Yeah, for this tournament. So we're gonna hit 100% on the tosses.
We will.
Because
we're gonna nail it.
Yeah, we've got 2 out of 3
I think
today.
it's gone well.
We managed to televise 2 out of 3 today. So.
Well, definitely, and I think it's always going to be very difficult, myself being on commentary and you being out in the middle. I think that's going to be quite tough.
Yeah, there's a bit of multitasking going on.
However, we do have 2 special guests behind us. So these are 2 girls from Cricket Sweden. Are you happy to have a conversation with them?
Yeah, we've only got 2 microphones, so I might struggle to speak them both at the same time.
Well, so we can have one of the girls start and then we can fluctuate in.
Just while that's happening, there's a boundary being hit through extra cover off the bowling of Uswa Samir. Let me just check that. Sorry, Uswa Syed. And there's bowled unbroken from the Bera end. And as I glance away from the field to my right, I noticed that Sienna has joined me.
Hi.
How are you, Sienna?
Well, I'm pretty tired.
Sienna Linden just played for Sweden in the last match.
I did.
Sweden came second in that one,
We
unfortunately. Although, got into the up towards 100 in the end, chasing 151. So it wasn't a complete debacle.
Yeah.
How do you feel that you performed against your abilities in that one, Sienna?
Me personally or the team?
Let's go for the team.
Let's
first.
go for the team.
Always go for the team first.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Team Sweden, relatively new. First time we actually play on a turf, so this was pretty exciting for us to come out here and really see how real cricket's playing. Most of the stuff we do is on like Astro or indoor gyms actually, because Sweden, it's not exactly a lot of cricket going on there, but we are trying to grow that. So I'd say, given our abilities, we can do a lot better, but it does reflect the fact that we haven't played on turf before, and against a good team as Italy was great.
Mm-hmm.
We've never actually played against a team as good as Italy, so I think that it was to some extent justified.
So you were impressed by the opposition?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I can definitely say that.
So I want to talk a bit more about Swedish cricket before we go on to you. Just watch another ball, and that's another wicket for Spain. You can see how much they're into this. They're absolutely ecstatic as that ball looked to turn from outside the off stump, and Lucy Barnett went to force it off the back foot through extra cover, but it turned through the gate, hit the top of the stumps. Just get the side on view, as you'll see, a couple of inches higher, and that would have missed the stumps. It would have been one of those agonising ones, but this time on target. Enough of the ball on the wicket to dislodge the bails, and just checking because we've had some problems with our graphics, and of course I'm not fully on the game as I speak to you here, Sienna.
Don't want to distract you too much.
But, okay, just break off as I just check with our statisticians. State of play. It was Lucy Barnett dismissed, I am told. Ellen Cleater is on strike because that was the last ball of the over. And the new batter in is Andrea Littlejohns. So, a couple of early wickets for Spain. Now, so you live in Sweden, I understand?
Yep, I go to university there.
Okay, and whereabouts is that?
In Lund, it's in the south.
Okay.
Right by Malmö, Copenhagen.
Okay. Copenhagen's a different country, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's only like 30 minutes by train, so...
Train, you see, this is confusing me because I thought they were virtually, there's vast expanses of water between them, but there's a bridge, is there?
Yes.
Or there's several bridges between that part of Sweden and Denmark.
There is.
Okay, so there you go. So I've never visited Scandinavia, so it makes me curious. So back earlier in the year, in the spring, we witnessed, because I was down in Kartama for the European Cricket League, and we witnessed Albi Zalmi
Yeah.
win their group against the odds. I can't remember whether it was their last match or one of their qualification match when they were 9 down and they needed around about a dozen to win.
Yeah.
And there was a misfield down at third man, and it was one of the more dramatic, certainly 10 over matches I've seen. So Zalmi, I understand, means youth, is what I'm told us. Well, I looked up to see there was an appeal which didn't seem to be very fruitful, but as I looked away to see you, there's been a big cheer, so I think the umpire was giving full consideration to that one. We'll get a replay of that one shortly. Now, I understand Zalmi means youth, and Alby is the name of a place, so which part of Sweden is that in?
It's actually not. It's more of a name. I have a teammate here who actually plays for Albi Salmi.
Okay, maybe I'll ask you that question, then we'll come back to you. So,
Sorry, can we have a team meeting quite
okay. Well, this is the price of fame, I'm afraid, Sienna. You've been called away to a team meeting
I have.
just as we were getting going.
Thank you for having me. But
So something's been lost in translation here, but we hope that you'll be able to join us in the second innings.
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
even later on in this innings.
yeah, we have a couple of days ahead of us.
We haven't finished with you yet, so you're welcome to come back and we'll chat to you further.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Well, that was cut short, wasn't it?
It was.
That was Cricket Sweden's moment in the sun. Well, it's not a moment on the commentary. Unfortunately, the team meeting has come first.
Well, we've
and been
had.
whisked away.
We
So,
had.
talk me through the last ball then, because I heard an appeal. Umpire seemed to be standing stock still, so I looked away, and then there was a celebration. So.
Well, it took a long time for the finger to go up.
And was it LBW?
I believe it was. I mean, the bails were still on.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I mean, obviously from this position, it's very difficult to see the line. I mean, you guys as umpires, you have the best view in the house for that. So
Not for this game, I haven't.
I trust the decision of the umpire. But who knows? But we've seen in some matches, and again, I learnt this from talking to Sue Redfern, that even though you don't give a decision right away, you are still replaying it in your head, which is absolutely fine, and you're completely entitled to do it. Obviously, that felt like an absolute eternity before the finger was raised, but that can happen, and that's absolutely fine. It's what's happened, and 56 for 3 off 8, still going well with the bat, Isle of Man, but it's going to be interesting because, as you rightfully said,
type of scoreline that definitely Spain very much in it, and they won't be too disheartened by the scoreline at all. Going at 8 and 7 and over, but they've taken 3 wickets in the first half of the innings with the opportunity to do more.
it's a great start for Spain, I think, considering I think they would have gone into this game as thinking potentially that they were the underdogs, maybe, in terms of how much cricket they've played. However, they'll be very happy with the performance so far.
We've got Payal Chilunja to bowl at the Bera end. He's bowling a left arm round, slow bowler, left arm orthodox, very short run up, quite a short person. She starts just about level with the umpire. You don't get that
Comes
kind
up
of
to her shoulder.
you don't get that kind of company too often.
Big appeal.
Right back on the stumps. We've got the captain out there. I always want to call her Claire Connor, but it's Claire Crow. Because when she comes
Claire
up,
Crow.
when she comes up Claire C on the screen, makes me think of Claire Connor, another legend of England women's cricket. So this is well, from what we've seen, Italy and Isle of Man dispatched Norway with one was batting first and one was batting second, similar type of efficiency. So they're certainly been the two teams of the tournament so far. We've now got Spain, I'd say, competing with the Isle of Man in this game. So it's all getting quite interesting for the tournament, isn't it?
It is. First game for Spain in this competition. And then second for the Isle of Man, so they obviously had a good win against Norway yesterday. But looking at that, I mean, we only saw two batters, as you rightfully mentioned before, so it's going to be good to see the other girls get an opportunity.
Yep, and those two opening bats have gone. So if you hear bashing of microphones and headsets and around that, we're being bombed by wasps at the moment. Luckily, I haven't had one hit its target yet, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Tried to eat my lunch earlier and there was just wasps everywhere.
Last time I worked with Audio Visuales Murcia, I was stung right in the middle of a blister,
Oh,
which was
painful.
very painful. Fortunately, my microphone was open at the time. So I've been invited back, so
That's good, that's positive. Still
So,
Naomi,
yeah,
I think.
Naomi Hillman Bermejo is to continue.
Who you would have heard earlier today if you were with us for our previous match.
Yeah, she just went for 2 off her first over.
I've neglected YouTube. I need to have a look. Oh, so Alby is located in southern Stockholm
Ah,
for
well,
the commentator.
Stockholm. Sorry, tell this person they can call me Andrew if they like. Should reintroduce ourselves. I'm Andrew Elliott, commentating alongside Thea Brooks. Haven't swapped around our surnames yet today. Just the letters of crocodile. That's the one I'm struggling with. As there's a concerted appeal. This time Mark Chappell just indicating eventually that it was heading down the leg side. But you think of this run up an action from Naomi Hillman Bermejo. It seems quite well grooved to me. It's obvious to me that she's played quite a bit. Just looks slight inconsistency character there with a full toss. Shall I let you ask that question? No, I'm going to let you answer the question first. What you think of Naomi's approach? I don't mean to the game. I mean to the crease when she's bowling.
To the crease. Oh, I need to have another look. I was just scanning through YouTube. I've got a couple of other things I've seen on there, so let's have a look. Yeah, it's like she's through the action before her legs.
Yep.
So
yeah, and
it's interesting.
I think there's because the approach is very good, the run-up's good, and what I think from a coaching point of view, she could do to move on to the next level is commit more with the front arm.
Yeah.
The front arm leads everything.
Or her.
It sounds ridiculous to say, but the front arm does go up there, but with no real drive or purpose or conviction, shall
Yeah.
we say? So that's something that could just get Naomi onto the next level. But she's bowling very nicely at the moment. She's she seems to have gained an over, which is quite a strange thing to do.
It definitely misses out on a little bit of touch of pace.
Yeah, I think
With
she
that?
could get more out of it because she got a good action, but she could get more. But there's something in the tank which she could get more out of that. So that's good news for her because she's bowling well.
So I must have
Unfortunately,
missed. Sorry, I must have missed your conversation about Albion Stockholm, only because we've got Ariba Khan. Hello, Ariba. Listening in at the moment. So it was Harry said about the location, and says that they're the chairperson of the club, and potentially could have met you in the ECL.
Well, I tell you what. Can you just say the name again?
Ariba Khan.
Do you want? Can you spell the first bit?
Areeba.
Yeah, that name does ring a bell.
Ah.
Yeah. So I was there as a spectator for that, and I virtually went every day for reasons which I keep to myself. But so there's a very good chance because I remember that name. So
Brilliant.
Ariba, if it's appropriate, can you send a photo? Can one send a profile photo on YouTube chat?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, but Ariba, if you have LinkedIn, just give us a thumbs up, and then we can see. And also,
The challenge with all this is the sunshine, of course.
oh yeah, of course.
That we can't really see our screens because the sun is almost directly behind us at the moment, which means I can get my ample torso in the way slightly.
Well, we've also had communication from Sophie Bamber. Hi, Sophie. Said big hello from Leeds, supporting Isle of Man. Shout out to Kira Bushan. Apologies if I haven't said that right. Looking forward to seeing her debut this game. So apparently this is Kira's debut. So that is fantastic. If so, I'm not sure if she played yesterday.
No, I don't think she did.
Oh, and saying that, there is a wicket. LBW, fingers gone up. So Claire Crow is the target. She's been pinned on the pads, and the Spanish group are very excited, very happy, calling the drinks on, and now they're a little bit too late.
Yeah, I was just about to say exactly that. Yeah.
A little bit too late.
If you're going to bring drinks on, bring them on as soon as the wicket falls, not when the next batter's already at the crease. I don't know if it's a spelling on my sheet or the message you've got on YouTube, because I can only see one of those, but to me it looks like Kira Buchan. It's a little bit.
Oh, it's probably, yeah, it's, I mean...
Kira Buchan.
Yeah, it's spelled absolutely right. I've just said Bushan for some reason. I'm trying to go exotic.
You've gone Hyacinth Bouquet, I think, with that.
I've gone very exotic with my pronunciations.
Have you ever heard of Hyacinth Bouquet?
I haven't, no.
No, I thought you might not.
But
not quite a sitcom with this.
Ariba's got back in touch with us, though.
But I just want to finish on.
Yes, you go.
Hyacinth Bouquet. Her name was actually Hyacinth Bucket.
Right.
She
okay.
had,
is this the microwave incident with Nigella?
She had delusions of grandeur. This sitcom character. So she called herself Bouquet because she married someone with the surname Bucket.
Fantastic.
She called herself Bouquet. So yeah, I think that's what you've just done to Kira. I should imagine that's Bucket. So Ariba watch. What have we got with Ariba?
Back in it. So I have worked for Daniel Weston.
Okay.
And there we'll be able to have a photo. It does have LinkedIn, or we can ask Iman from Sweden. Sorry, about a picture because she the club captain. She's the club captain.
Okay.
So there we go.
Do we know whether Ariba is a men's player or a women's player? We don't know. Okay. So we don't know whether that's overall club captain or the women's group captain. But maybe Ariba could answer that question for us. So I've got stuff blown everywhere. My sunglasses are on the floor. I have no idea where my reading glasses are. And I'm trying to watch a cricket match. Stare at a screen that's got the sun full in the face of it, and keep everything up to date. All this while it's impossible for me to read anything because I need my glasses. Can you see my glasses?
See sunglasses.
Here they are.
Oh, they're on the floor.
Right underneath my seat. That's where you wouldn't look. I don't know how they got there. It must have been when I was taking off my headphones.
I think I've found a Reba. I reckon this is that. I'm going to get back onto my YouTube channel. Women's player.
Women's player, okay.
Thanks, Ariba. Responsible for the women's cricket development for the past 2 years in Sweden. And the CEO I was talking to is Monica. Thank you, Ariba, you legend. Thank you so much.
The CEO that you were talking to
I've
on
been
air,
panicked
who you
for
spoke
so
to
long.
for almost an entire innings.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Are you generally a names person, and is this just a blip for you, or?
No, I'm good with names. I get nervous around people. So Isle of Man Dave, supporting the Isle of Man from London. Hi Dave. Big shout out to Alanya. Alanya, Dave says hi.
Rania Thorpe.
Oh, Thorpe.
Good cricketing surname.
Thank you so much for these comments, by the way, guys. Appreciate it. Keeping the listeners involved.
I think I found a Reba on Facebook. But unfortunately, she hasn't got a profile photo, which doesn't help.
That might not be her then.
Well, I suspect it is her because our one friend in common is Enrico Full, who's a prolific commentator for the European Cricket Network. So I suspect we have the right person. Lives in Stockholm, which is where Alby's Almy. We discovered Alby is a southern suburb. Was that how it was worded, or in the southern part of?
Southern Stockholm.
Southern
That's how it
Stockholm.
was.
Okay, so all comes back to the same thing, doesn't it?
Of course.
So Ariba, lovely to hear from you. I met so many people at that tournament. We have got a friend in common, so if you feel disposed to pinging me a friend request, I'd be more than happy to accept it.
It's a small world. We've
It
said
is,
that.
it
Small
is,
world.
especially when cricket's
Cricket.
involved. Yeah.
100%. But back to this game. Spain and Isle of Man. Oh, big snick through the keeper's gloves for Elan. As they scamper through for one. Sorry. Which brings Jasmine back on strike. It's weird not having the surnames on kind of here and just on the team sheets.
It is weird. It's
Yeah.
yeah. So we haven't got exactly the same graphics as we had for the men's tournament a week ago, because that was although Audio Visuales Murcia were the production team, it was an ECN production. This is a Cricket España production, so it's slightly different graphics. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine it was using the same name structure. It's quite strange. Jasmine P. It's almost like a rap name, isn't it? Jazzy P.
Jazzy P.
I think Jazz is her nickname. Actually, Jasmine Pullen. She's the wicket keeper for the Isle of Man. And it's got a few. We've seen a few more batters in this innings. We should perhaps pay attention to the profiles that we were supplied with
We were given.
for the tournament. And we'll start with Jasmine Pullen, whose nickname is Jazz, and a favourite cricketer. This is coming up a few times. This is the third time.
I'm guessing it's our Joss.
It is Joss. So she's a wicket keeper. Again, favourite food is quite a fattening one, but it's not showing at all. It's brownies.
Ooh. See, I'm an avid baker, so I do like baking.
Avid baker.
Yep, I am. Yeah.
Avid baker sounds like a bit like a science fiction name. Science fiction, yeah. Spaceship pilot, avid baker.
I love it.
Now, interesting thing. Well, what Jasmine considers interesting about herself, and I agree with her. Although we might need to have some proof. As another 4 is hit away to the straight mid-wicket boundary to kick off the 12th over. Jasmine. Oh no! Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. I thought we'd missed out on an opportunity here. I'm going to keep the one I've just seen up my sleeve. Jasmine can do the splits.
Oh, painful.
It hurts me just to think about that.
I've tried and failed miserably.
Well, at least you can still walk. I think if I tried, I would never walk again. That is, Jasmine.
I can do the splits.
You are the opposite of me in terms of flexibility. I noticed you went for Elan. I'm going for Ellen. I think whether
Am I
it's,
being too much here?
I think you're reading too much into the names.
I feel like I am.
I think that whether it's an A or an E, it's just Ellen, isn't it? If it was an I, it'd be Ellen, wouldn't it? If it was an O, it'd be Ellen. If it was a U, it'd be Ellen. I reckon. That's what I'm going for.
Okay. It's like Jasmine. You still say Jasmine?
So yeah, I think it's probably, yeah. Actually, in Spanish. In Spanish, it would be Jasmine or
Jasmine.
or something like that.
Oh.
But of course, we're not talking about the Spain side. We're talking about someone in the Isle of Man side.
So I'm going to say Jasmine.
I'm going Jasmine.
Jasmine and Ellen.
Especially as her nickname is Jazz with a double Z. So
Yeah.
that pretty much nails it.
There we go.
Well, Ellen. See if we can dig up something on her. Well, Jasmine's out. Gives us time just to look for. Well, not sure if we've got details for Ellen.
I'm not seeing her on my list, unfortunately, which is interesting.
We were promised profiles to follow. It hasn't happened yet.
What would you say your interesting fact would be as well? We have a little break.
Obviously away from cricket.
Go on.
Does that just be boring to talk about interesting cricket facts during cricket commentary? Well, one of them is very rusty, but I still understand it very well. But I speak 4 languages. I would say that's probably.
That's pretty cool.
And
what languages are they? Spanish, of course.
Spanish, English, which I get by in. I also speak French and Italian, although
Wow.
I haven't dared to really try to engage any of the Italy squadron conversation because that's a high full toss,
Thumped.
and well, it was slow, so it was coming down inevitably, and our chap was satisfied himself that would have dropped below waist level by the time it got to the popping crease, and it is nevertheless struck away for 4.
Well, Dave, there you go. Alanya, first ball, 4. Done. You must be happy.
Yeah, that's striking at 400. She'll do well to maintain that through this innings. Alanya Thorpe.
And Ellen seems to be carrying this team through quite nicely, being 30 off 26. It's always good having a healthy strike rate in a T20. We almost saw a half century earlier in the day. Still time.
That'll be the first one of the tournament.
It will be the first one of the tournament.
So I wasn't focused on it. Oh well,
Ooh,
that's some foot fielding that could have ended horribly.
not out.
Yeah, unfortunately the keeper didn't have the ball there.
Didn't have the ball.
The keeper have the ball. I didn't see the ball did hit the stumps. It was after the gloves did.
from my angle, I'd have said not out, because I believe that the ball was not in her hands when her gloves took the stumps.
Yeah.
If I'm...
Well, we'll have a good angle of it here, unless Naomi gets in the way of the shot. Well, here's the throw in. Yeah, we'll need to have just another quick look at that. But,
From
the overriding impression
from a first glance,
is that unless the ball bounced off the glove straight onto the stumps before the gloves got there, the ball was not in hand.
good.
So wide there from Jaspreet Grangkawa. I think we can go with Jaspreet instead of Jaspreet on this occasion.
Just freak.
Drifting down the leg side.
Good take by the keeper.
Yep,
She's ready for it, isn't she?
she is.
She's all over this.
Better attempt than the run out.
Looks like we've got just over 200 viewers as well
Live.
on the live stream. I think so. Is that a live stream? If not, I'm not sure. It says 200. So we'll see if I can get a number for us.
Well, I just grabbed my phone between balls there, and that one is an illegal full toss, has been called by Nilkesh Patel at the striker's end, and is hauled down just inside the boundary. 3 results.
Also, we've got 98 watching, and we've been, or unless that's comments, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Well, we got just over 5,000 yesterday, so 200 seems a little bit disappointing at the weekend by comparison. This is punched away. Full swing of the bat. Didn't seem to race off the bat, but it appeared to gather momentum. Of course, it's impossible unless it's downhill. Across the outfield, and that was solidly struck, ultimately. Ellen Cleater hasn't been a 50 in this tournament yet. She's got time to do it.
Got plenty of time. Just wait for the field.
Yeah. Jaspreet a little bit enthusiastic there, running in while the fielders were still trying to get back into position. And we've got one of those in-betweeny fielding positions down towards us here at fine leg, haven't we?
We do. So a couple of extras being bowled here in this over. We've had 3 wides and a no ball so far. So Ellen will be looking to capitalise on these extra balls. She's going very well at the moment, 35 off 29. Isle of Man posting 94 for 5 off 13.4 so far. Going just below 7s. I think they want to push this up a little bit, going into the back end of their innings.
Here we've got Hifsa Butt at fine leg, who's around about 5 yards outside the fielding circle. Again, it's a pattern that appears to have, with some of the teams in this tournament, I don't see what that's achieving, because she hasn't got a chance of saving a single there, and she's also reducing her chances of saving a boundary by being in that close. So maybe you can shed some light on it for me.
No, I completely agree. We had this conversation in the previous game actually. Said that sometimes it's good to be 5-10 yards in from the boundary, depending on boundary size or the the speed of which it's going along the floor. Obviously today it's a lot drier, so the ball should be moving along the floor quicker. But when you're looking at just about 5 yards away from the inner ring of the 25 yards, so what, you're going to be about 30 yards out. Again, I completely agree. You're not saving one, and you're not saving four if it's going to your left or right. So it's either you get in and you definitely save the single. So I still think 25 yards is quite a long way. It looks really long today, to be honest. I don't know why, but yeah, it does. I think, and that's one thing that these teams need to have a look at as well. Is if you're on the ring. So I mean, your rule of thumb is if you're on the ring, you're saving the one. That doesn't mean they're hitting a one to you. It means you're saving the one. There's no one there. But
if they hit it straight to you, obviously if they hit it either side of you,
well, that's
you
it.
still have time to go around and 1 run's conceded. The whole point of being on the one is if the ball's hit straight to you, the striker shouldn't be thinking you're taking a run. As soon as you get to the edge of the 25-yard circle or 5 yards beyond, it's an automatic single.
Exactly.
So what's your role in fielding in that distance?
Exactly. I mean, you're not doing anything, which is disappointing. But it's another thing that I've noticed as well is that the tactics behind where they're putting the fielders. So for Ellen, I like the thought process of having these two fielders back. I think there's a cow corner and a long off. I haven't really seen Ellen play a shot over mid off, so I'm not too sure of this fielding position here. But I feel it's one of those, isn't it, where I feel like in training or as you progressively go through, they've got these fielders in mind of who they want. And then she's bowled. Unfortunately, Ellen is walking off from 36 from 30. Disappointingly, I think she'll be disappointed that she hasn't stayed out there long enough to get her half century.
Yeah, it's a second wicket for Wanya Arif Malik.
So just waiting to confirm who the new batter is going to be, who has just walked out to the crease. Just trying to find a number for the Isle of Man. So we have Catherine Perry. So opened the bowling yesterday for Isle of Man. She's started already, strong hit down the ground. 2 long gone, which again, interesting position for a new batter to come in to have a long gone. I think that's where the tactics need to be slightly better in terms of the fielding unit. So put pressure on the new batter that's come in, squeeze. So Alanya, she's going well, 9 off 5. As she smacks this ball past square leg, in front of square, and that races away for 4. Strong hit from Alanya, and this is where they need to maybe rethink and think, all right, where are the best places to go in the field where the bowler's bowling? If it's short and wide, then she might be looking to pull it, or wide on the leg side, she might be looking to pull that ball, and that is exactly what they've done. They've kept a player out there, deep square, just in front.
So this time you're in favour of them following the ball?
Because
there's been enough evidence, hasn't there?
There has, yes. Because they kept out the long gone for the new batter. So Catherine Perry is the new batter that's come in. And they kept long gone out, which I don't necessarily agree with. As a new batter, you want to squeeze, and obviously Alanya's going well, so you want to keep her off strike for as much as possible. And I'd like to just have a reminder for obviously everybody watching out there. So European cricket is very new, so it's very new to the system at the moment. So these girls are having a great opportunity to come together and play in these tournaments, and we all start somewhere. So I think watching the progression that these nations are having and making is one to remember. Some of these teams have never played on grass wickets before, so it's very privileged for some of these teams to be out here playing against each other. So I think it's going to be good to see some of these girls definitely progress in future. But please bear in mind that it's a new tournament for these teams. So it's great to have this opportunity for them.
And they're motivated by playing on grass. It's very obviously been mentioned a few times. Yeah. Yeah. It's very different playing on grass if you've never done it before. I mean, in a way, well, not in a way, it just is. It's much easier to be used to playing on grass and going to play on artificial than it is the other way around. Cricket's an easier game on an artificial pitch. Not necessarily for the bowlers, but it's an easier game overall. So for those, a lot of these girls have mentioned that they've never played on grass before, so it's a whole new experience for them. And they're learning all the time. They're learning before our eyes. Excuse me if my micro effects keep coming and going. I've got a faulty microphone, which Ali Obisualis and Murthy are busy trying to sort out. So bear with me if you can hear my voice coming and going and crackling effects. We're also getting constantly attacked by flies and wasps. It's just one of those evenings. It's a price you pay for an extended summer. I bet you haven't got many wasps and flies back in England at the moment.
Oh, I don't know, I'm not there. No, I don't. I haven't.
Well,
really
you were
come across
yesterday. Come on, at 3 o'clock, as we well know.
As we do know, I was still in England at 3 a.m. yesterday. To be honest, no, I haven't. Well, I haven't seen many. To be honest, I guess it's summer usually. You see them out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit cold for them at the moment.
Well, it's one benefit of the cold. Because they are relentless in this country, the flies. It doesn't matter how many times you wave them away. They just want to land on you. Whereas I find in England they want to land on tables and food and other things less pleasant.
One did land on my sandwich and I was very devastated.
Well, they do that here too, but if there's no food around...
here, that's what I mean.
They do that here too, yeah, but what I mean is as well as landing on you. But if there's no food around, they'll just land on you instead.
You're your food for them, aren't you?
Yeah. And they are relentless. They come back again and again and again. But still, well, pleasant conditions here as we approach 4:30 on this second day of the ICC Women's 2020 International. What's the official name of it? Pentangular. I don't like pentangular. I prefer pentagonal. Pentagonal tournament. 5 nations being represented here at Desert Springs, province of Almeria, southern Spain. And so far, Italy are top of the table with 2 wins. But not that many teams have played only 2 teams have played 2 games so far. So it's 2 wins for Italy, 2 losses for Norway.
I think Spain will be quite happy with this at the moment.
Yeah, so they're competing. Isle of Man have got 4 overs to go after this. They've only just breached 100. There haven't been any sort of really big overs that have hurt Spain yet. That's a thigh-high full toss, which to my eyes was just worked around the corner to fine leg.
Got some great support in for these 2 teams on the YouTube comments. So thank you, keep those coming. It's definitely we want to keep giving these girls the recognition and publicity as much as possible. So, Isle of Man, currently 108 for 6 off 16 is where we stand as the ball is just punished through the cover region, too long off, and it's been picked up nicely for a single. We're having slight technical difficulties with our headset, so that's why you can only hear myself and not my colleague. But he will be back soon, I'm sure. He's on his way. Just getting it all sorted as bowler's running in. Left arm over the wicket. That's been hit to deep square just in front. She's quite far in front actually. Just for the single, just for the one, which takes their total to 111 for 6.
I've got a new toy.
Oh, that's fancy.
Do I sound different?
A little bit.
Ah. Okay. We've had a little faulty microphone issue there, which it refused to stay near my mouth and kept dropping down to sort of my collarbone all the time, which meant I had to hold it, which meant there was lots of creaking noises. My voice was coming and going, but now I've got a brand new toy that can hopefully increases my voice quality as much as nature makes it possible to do.
I didn't even score this game either. I've had a shocker.
Well,
I've not done well.
You didn't really have time to get here for the start after doing your marathon shift, all 3 games today.
I know. It's big effort.
And I will.
What do I do for the second innings?
Well, this is lofted, and actually, fielder got into a good position. IL Cholongia. Just couldn't quite hunt that in.
It's another opportunity. Oh, again, put down.
Tough chance for Ahmed Iqbal. Just couldn't quite haul that in.
Well, the good news for Spain is that opportunities are coming. They just need to take them. As they say, catches win matches.
Do you like the Isle of Man, should we call it the away kit? Just talking about it before you came back on air.
I think I prefer their red. I mean, yellow is my favourite colour. I'm going to put that out there. But yeah, I won't say it's my favourite kit of the tournament.
Okay, but so I mean, as I mentioned before you got here, Spain, red and yellow are pretty much Spain's colours.
Yes.
In terms of their flag, they are the host country, so I just think it's quite nice that Isle of Man have got an alternative kit that they can use, so they don't too closely match that of their opponents. But it did make me think when I was out in the middle and I saw we could almost call it the phantom toss taking place, because no camera. Yeah, if a tree falls over in a forest, no one hears it. Doesn't make a noise. Because I kind of saw it happen. I think I saw it happen. I saw people walking to the air and then walking away.
I saw them next to me.
There was no camera there to record it, and there was no commentator there to tell everyone what was going on. But I did actually think when I saw Claire walking over for the toss, I thought, tut Claire, not wearing your match kit for the toss. Of course she was. I didn't recognise it. Been very good in understanding that all the teams in this tournament, and it goes for ICC tournaments, whether the camera's there or not. The captains are required to attend the toss in their playing kit, so I just think it gives the whole event a bit more decorum, because the toss is very important in cricket, probably arguably a lot more important than other sports. Football, where you toss for ends, but you go to both ends anyway. Same for tennis. Snooker, you toss for who cues off first, who breaks off, but then the other person breaks off in the next frame anyway. So a lot more importance on the toss in cricket. So it's good that the captains get into the spirit of it, the spirit of cricket. Dress up properly for the toss. There's a famous story about from the late 80s about Chris Cowdrey going out in his England blazer in his only ever test match as captain. Going out in his full England blazer, full kit. Immaculate whites, polished boots, white boots, which of course didn't have so many colours in those days. And the story goes, and we don't know whether it's true of course, the story goes that Viv Richards came out in a t-shirt and shorts. T-shirt and beach shorts.
Brilliant.
To do the toss. And
Shot.
West Indies of course were very dominant in the 1980s, and Chris Cowdrey dutifully started to read out his team. And Viv Richards cut across them and said, I'm not going to do his accent.
No, please don't.
You can pick who you want. Doesn't make any difference to us. So yeah, with all these cricket stories that get passed down, you don't know how much of it's true. I can't quite imagine Viv Richards coming out to toss up in a test match. Although it were different times, standards have changed. Some standards go down, standards go up. But you always see the captains very well presented for a toss in televised and ICC matches these days. 2 overs to go, so I think Spain will still be relatively pleased with this. We've seen Italy get 1 score in the 140s and 1 score in the 150s in this tournament. Of course, we'll never know how much Isle of Man would have ended up on in their first match if they hadn't got to their target of 47 so quickly. But we're going to see Payal Chilunja.
So what do you think's a good total from here? 12 balls remaining, 126.
Well, they've got 6 wickets. They're 6 wickets down with 2 overs in hand, so you'd think they should be able to up their current rate. So 145 they might be targeting.
You'd like to think so, I reckon. 20 off the last 12, or 11 now. First dot ball. Will they get there? I'm not sure. But I think it's really important that with Alanya being on strike, that's going to be the key. Just needs to connect with a few.
That's a great shot, isn't it? A really impassioned appeal there from Payal Chilunja, which we got from our close-up camera from behind the bowler's arm. It's good that the sun's going down. Your shoulders are beginning to block it out on the screen. I'm beginning out to starting to be able to see the replays. If you wear a big cape, maybe.
Hold on. That better.
In threatening manner.
There we go.
That's lovely.
Big appeal from the keeper. The keeper's loving this.
I made the mistake then of watching the screen instead of the live action. I know we get a better angle on the TV monitor, but we're here to see the things that you can't see. So that's why we always look to keep our eye on the action in the middle. As that's what's happened there. That was
missed everything.
It was a slug sweep from Alanya Thorpe, and yeah, as you say, went through the lot by signal by Nilkesh Patel.
And this is important here for Alanya to get off strike. So a single would be great.
Well, it's Catherine Perry it is who's on strike, and well, she's been stumped in terms of having Alanya Thorpe on strike for the last over. Well, that's worked, but it's come at the price of a wicket. Catherine Perry, who'd got to 11 off 19 balls. It's all over for her. How was the replay?
I think that was Alanya that's just been out. Is that? I'm pretty sure that was Alanya.
No.
Are you sure?
Not. Surely not.
I'm pretty sure it was.
No, she took a single off the previous ball. It was Alanya.
No,
No. You're right.
I am, aren't I? I'm pretty sure that was Alanya that it was out.
She's got the wrong shirt on again, hasn't she?
Just in case people can hear us that are doing the YouTube stream. It's stating that Perry was the batter that was out then, and I'm definitely
No, Perry's
sure
disappeared
that
from that.
Perry's
screen.
on. Perry's currently on strike.
So, yeah, I think it's down to Alanya Thorpe not wearing the correct shirt. She walked off there. That is definitely Catherine Perry who's hit that ball.
So Alanya had the black gloves on as well.
Well, it's Kira Buchan. Who was it that sent a message for Kira Buchan?
It was.
She's coming into bat. There's only
from
5 balls to
memory,
go. Well, 6 balls to go.
I want to say from memory Sophie, but I could
Good
be
memory.
wrong. Let me just go back through. It's Sophie Bamber.
Sophie Bamber. Well, there's an appeal for something now. I'm not sure what it's hit, but it's gone down
We'll see.
straight behind the keeper for 4 byes. So it's slightly a mystery what the appeal was for. There's 4 byes as the result. So kidology from the keeper maybe. Trying to convince her teammates that it came off something. That's why she missed it. But no, 4 pretty straightforward byes, and that helps. That was a pretty unproductive 19th over for the Isle of Man. And that's Kira Buchan off the mark, so Sophie will be pleased. And responsibility for this last over on the shoulders of Naomi Hillman Bermejo, and she's doing rather well.
She's doing exceptionally well. It's our little conversation, our little pre-chat.
We don't know who her favourite cricketer is, but you know, maybe
Maybe it's me.
maybe it's just, well, you got on there a bit
I'm
earlier there,
joking.
didn't you?
Not at all. Not at all.
I was going to say it, but yeah, you go ahead.
Not at all. I reckon her favourite cricketer is Catherine Brunt
Really?
or Nat Siver.
I was going to say she's from Hampshire, so maybe a southern player.
Yeah, I did think that, but
Someone Hursley Park, sort of halfway down Hampshire, sort of getting towards the coast.
I mean, if it's someone of a new standard, then maybe a Lauren Bell,
Yeah.
who's in. She's down from this neck of the woods, Berkshire girl.
She's the very tall blonde one, isn't she?
She is, yes.
Very, very tall and slim, Lauren Bell. Made a test debut earlier this year. Bowled really well, opening up. And, well, we have got an innings closure. And we got through the overs in good time, Spain. Just under the 1 hour 20 minute mark. So, tournament organisers will be slightly relieved by their good over rate. Not too many wides, 24 extras in total in the Isle of Man score of 132 for 7. And do you want to take us through the bowling figures?
Yeah, cool. So I just saw on the Ellen Cleater was pick of the batters with 36. Then with bowling figures, we've got, well, I'd say Payal. So she took 2 wickets for 8 runs off her 3 overs. Payal Chilongia, I'll give it a go. And then we had another 2 wicket taken by Uswa, and the TV just went off. Uswa Saeed, so 4 overs, 2 for 26. And wickets also came from Naomi Hillman, and I can't say her last name in such a beautiful Spanish way that you do, so I'm not.
Bermejo.
Belmejo.
Bermejo.
Belmejo.
Very good.
Thank you. 4 overs, 1 for 17. So Naomi had a very good economy of 4.25, and everyone else was in and around that ballpark. I think they've done really well. Spain, I think they'll be really happy with 132 as their final. It's a good score to chase down, so it'll be exciting to see how they go about it.
Yeah, only Jasprit Grancower into double figures, and barely that, 2 overs for 20. So yeah, Spain will be. There was no point where they lost control during that innings, and although 132 is a tall order to surpass, they will be pleased. about the level of control they had in the field. It was it never got away from them too much, and well, it remains to be seen what their batting has got to offer, but they of course will have high hopes of challenging this Isle of Man total of 132 for 7. We are going to take a very short break because I know that the fielding team, the organisers and the umpires will be keen to get the fielders out there quickly, with the sun beginning to go down here at Desert Springs in the province of Andalusia, southern Spain. That's where we're bringing you this ICC Women's 2020 International Tournament from. 5 teams involved. Thanks to Cricket España and our other sponsors that we will have time to go through in the next innings. We will see you shortly. rules are there to be broken, and despite racing through the first innings, it seems that we hardly got a break at all between innings. This special dispensation being given because of the lack of time left in the day, lack of sunshine. I've got just over an hour, which is why we're cracking on with this match. And we've got Lucy Barnett opening up from the better end, as she did yesterday. Elspeth Fowler, the Spain captain, has got off the mark. At the third time of asking, I'm going to, still getting used to this new microphone, I have to really do this to it.
It's very intense.
But yeah, it's very distance sensitive. I mean, I only have to move a millimetre away and I sound like I'm in the next room. So the run chase is underway. One run coming off the third ball. And Payal Chilongia, I think that's the correct one. I'm basing that on Nayan Mongia, who used to be the wicketkeeper for India. That's the logic I'm going with to pronounce her surname. And she's off the mark straight away. So, stiff task this for the Spain team. Need to go at over a run per ball. Need to find gaps. I'm going to take a quick look at the setup of the field. They've gone straight away to having two fielders on the boundary, one at deep square leg and one at deep straight mid wicket, or some would unkindly call it cow corner. And that's through Elspeth Fowler.
We saw yesterday, didn't we, with the Isle of Man fielding, they clearly had their set plans regardless of what was going to happen in the game. So they had their 2 out for the first 6, and then straight away they put 4 out, which they probably didn't need to, is what we thought yesterday against Norway.
Yep, and I'm going to sound a bit like a stuck record. I'd rather have them all the way out than in betweeny land. If you're going to be on the boundary, that's where you should be, heels on the line. Not too much action that over there, just 2 runs coming from it. Another tight over from Lucy Barnett. Yeah, I don't think we had any with the... Well, yeah, Isle of Man's one of the team we have got player profiles for, but one thing isn't the profile is their date of birth, and I don't think we quite realised how young Lucy was when she was playing out there yesterday. But you'll be used to this as an experienced women cricketer. I mean, you're dare we say it, you're one of the elder stateswomen in some of the... See, I thought about it first. You're one of the elder stateswomen in some of the sides you're playing these days, presumably.
Yeah, and to all young girls out there, it comes around a lot quicker than you think. So I remember being the young pup, being the old 14, 15-year-old in teams. And now I'm, yes, definitely the other end of that spectrum. Without giving too much away, even though if you were listening earlier, I did say the year I was born. So
did you? I don't think I was on commentary then.
You were. No, were you? No, you weren't. You weren't. Otherwise, you'd probably say it again. Oh. It's been picked up beautifully.
I'm just going to say it was an Ashes year. That's good. Hit away for 4 by Payal. She seized quickly on that.
Fantastic start from the Spaniard. Not a great start for Perry.
Oh, you got me thinking now. I have to look up Spaniard. Where does that word come from?
I don't know. I probably just made it up.
And does it refer to men and women? That's what we've got to work out as well.
I imagine so.
Yeah, I think it probably does.
That's what you called them, Spaniards.
I had to know. I spend that much time in Spain, and actually you don't hear the word Spaniard used very often.
So maybe that's something I just thought was a thing.
No, it is definitely a thing. It's just maybe fallen out of fashion a little. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that you were born in an Ashes year.
I'll have to have a look at.
As in England home Ashes year.
An England home Ashes year.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it wasn't a particularly good one for England. That's going to be my next best. But not that they ever were in the 90s. Well, there were only 2 in the 90s. Only 2 Ashes summers in the 90s, but
Can you tell me when those 2 were, and I'll tell you if it's yes or no?
yeah, they were in 93 and 97.
Okay, so would you like to take a punt of one of those
no,
2?
well, I know which one it is, but I didn't need to be on commentary because of a comment you made off air earlier. But
Oh no, of course. I told you how old I was earlier.
I was,
Of course I
being
did.
polite, and I was saying those that you didn't reveal your year of birth to, or they can
Of course.
they can take a choice of 2. They can go for 93 or 97.
I forgot I told you earlier.
And I know
That probably reveals which one it is.
I know which one you'd prefer people to think it was. The reality might be different.
Well, no, 'cause I was going through my shirt numbers when you were umpiring that I'd had.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Have you had a few then?
I have. So a lot of people obviously keep the same number as they go through each team, but I quite like to have a different number per team. So it's a bit unique to that.
New beginnings?
Exactly. But saying that, when you go to quite a few different teams, you tend to go through a lot of the numbers. So
We live in a franchise era.
we do. But no, I like to go, and this will also help viewers to guess if you care. Probably don't. But yeah, my lucky number's 3.
Okay.
So I like to have numbers that are based around the number 3. And
Yeah.
my birth year, both numbers are centred around the number 3. So that's pretty obvious.
Squares and square roots. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
3 squared and 3 it's on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I like to go with my I was born on the 28th of March, so I like to go with 28 in general. That means I never have to reveal how old I am.
Shot.
It's also my mum's birthday. Well,
28th of March.
no, just 28th of another month. And best mate from university days. He's a 28. He's got the same birthday as my mum, actually. Not the same year, obviously.
That's great.
So yeah,
28, good number.
28. It's come up a few times. It was my highest score. I was a bowler.
Do you know whose number it is for England women?
Ah, that's a good one. That one. Well, do you know what? I'm gonna have a punt against kind of what I want on a family basis, because I mentioned my mum. Her mum's maiden name was Brunt, so I'm just going to go because I'd like that link to continue. I'm going to go for Catherine Brunt just because that's the answer I'd like it to be.
Unfortunately, it is not Catherine Brunt, but we have mentioned her. I know we've mentioned a lot of people.
It's not a common surname,
today.
so I've always liked to think that I'm probably related to Catherine Brunt in some distant way.
Some way.
I know that my grandmother's father had a lot of brothers, so it's possible.
It's not Catherine Brunt.
Okay, so I'm going to go for the county where I'm in the UK, where I do most of my cricket. I'm going to go for Surrey, so I'm going to go for Nat Siver.
Not Nat Siver. Although Catherine Brunt is 26, so that was close.
Okay.
It's not Nat Siver.
Of course, I just felt like I was picking 2 random players there. And I just realised I picked a married couple, haven't I?
You have indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, not 2 such random choices as I would have hoped.
She's a batter.
Okay, current. As you said, current England team, didn't you?
Current, and I said again. I'm trying to remember if I said it to you or to Alan, but it's a player that I've played against for a long time. We're very similar in age. She started her career at Staffordshire, if that might help. Yeah, if that helps.
Staffordshire. That rules out a lot.
It does. I mean, it gives you 2, if that helps. It gives you 2 people, one of which is not now current England.
So are you
So then
saying
it gives you 1.
only 2 Staffordshire natives have played for England women's 11? Is that right?
I think that might be correct. So there was 2 of them until the contracts were renewed.
Okay.
Just now.
I think
Now there's only 1.
You're going to have to give me initials.
Was she? Oh, I'm trying to give you some more clues. because if I give you the initials, you'll get it.
Well, you never know. You don't know how deep my knowledge is.
She opens the batting in T20.
Okay.
She's small.
Danny White.
Yeah.
She's from I didn't know she was from Staffordshire.
She's from Stoke.
Is she
Stoke?
She's a Stoke girl, is she?
Never heard her talk. Brooksy.
Do you
That's
know,
how she calls me.
I don't think I ever have heard her talk.
Listen to her in an interview. It's sensational.
I told you that she was my dad's favourite, didn't I?
Yes,
Yeah.
that must have been where it was from.
Yeah.
She's a very, very funny girl.
So there was a family connection with the 28 then.
There
She
you
was
go.
my dad's favourite.
There you go.
And that's the end of Elspeth Fowler. She's gone to pull a ball which was, wow, it's only hit 3/4 of the way up the stump, so that really was too full to pull. But maybe, actually, I was going to say with an eye on the scoreboard, they were going along at a run of ball before that ball, so there wasn't the time to panic. But Elspeth Fowler tried to make something out of a ball that wasn't really there for the shot, and has paid the ultimate price.
She did. I spoke to a few of the girls earlier before the game and asked them about, what they're thinking about being on a grass wicket and being on this one from what they've seen in previous matches. And they've said to me, they were like, look, the ball's not bouncing as much, so actually it's probably not a back foot track. And unfortunately, we've seen a lot of dismissals on the back foot at the moment. So it'd be good to see those coming in now, which I believe is Uswa. She will hopefully be coming front foot. Learn from those before you to face the final ball of Lucy Barnett's deliveries.
Yep, Usa Swaid had a ball earlier.
She bowled very well. Remember?
Yep. Did bowl well and solidly into defence. That's a good way to end the third over. So Spain 16 for 1. Decent start. Hurt a little bit that they lost their captain off the penultimate ball of that over. But they've kept their run rate up. It was up at 6 per over a couple of balls ago. But, wicket and dot ball just knocked that a little. And we're just seeing a replay of Elspeth walk off, which perhaps she won't want to see.
You never want to see that. Well, you didn't get into the nitty gritty with Sienna, did you? Because it was Sienna who got a first baller. As you probably remember from umpiring that game.
Sienna did get the first ball. It wasn't the finest shot that she'd ever played. She was looking to hit it over mid-wicket, and it bowled her off stump. So, yeah, in terms of first ball, over-ambitious. I think we'll go for that. I wasn't going to bring it up. I'm hoping she still might come back, but now, the extremely brief interlude between innings, I think I may have lined up a special guest or two.
Oh, fantastic.
But this has happened before, and unfortunately when we're on commentary we're not like the big boys. We haven't got loads of gophers that can just go and get one of those things you hook sheep with, around the neck and bring them here. So a couple of times during the tournament already, and we're into the fourth match, we've had guests lined up that have mysteriously disappeared. So hoping that won't happen on this occasion, but I thought rather than saying can you come over in a while, I've actually gone for a new tack. I've actually asked them to come over at the end of the power play.
Oh, let's see if they remember.
So that doesn't give them, and well, more recently they've both been playing 2020, or they've both been involved in 2020, but one of them's made a lot of T10 recently, so he hasn't turned up after 3 overs, so he's got the correct SIM card in. As that is turned away by a pile round the corner, and I've noticed in and around the resort, Payal Chilongia is very popular amongst her teammates, and that has been met by perhaps the most rapturous applause of the day, as she's just turned round, actually on replay, actually just lofted it a little bit more than I thought initially. She's got a little bit of bottom hand underneath into that. It was wide of the backward square leg anyway. It has gone down to the backward square leg boundary for 4. So this is a good start to this over. We've had 7 off 2 legitimate balls so far. It's
been a fantastic start for Spain. At the moment, they're up with the run rate, just above what they need. So 110 required from 16.3 overs. I tell you what, they've had a great start.
And then one dot ball and it goes the other way.
I know, I did notice that as soon as I said it. I thought, oh, oh dear.
Yeah,
Good timing.
Small sample sizes, as statisticians would always tell you. Innings is young. Oh, that's.
Ooh.
I thought the short mid wicket was in danger there because I thought that Pyle had really got hold of that, but it was completely mistimed, and in the end didn't even reach the short mid wicket on the full. But that's a curious fielding position. We've got a short mid wicket and we've got a slightly squarer mid wicket.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice of fielding positions. There's such a big gap between mid on and that short mid wicket.
Is there a mid on hiding behind the umpire?
I don't know. I've guessed. I don't actually know if there is.
No, I think there's no mid on.
Wow.
So
what a choice.
So we've got a short mid wicket round to the bowler. There's no one in between. But maybe they've been doing their homework. Maybe there's lots of video footage of Pyle available that we're not aware of. Teams do a lot of homework these days.
That's incredible.
And we've still got the same fielder who's now at short cover. And that's exactly where the ball's gone. So maybe they have been doing their homework, Isle of Man.
Wow.
Just
it's an unusual fielding positions.
I think that's Andrea Littlejohns, who's appears to be fielding close with some glee. Doesn't matter whether it's left-hander or right-hander. She's the one with her hand up, saying, "I'll go in there and do it."
Love that.
It's 24 for 1 after 4 overs here at Desert Springs. Coming to you live from the province of Almeria in southern Spain. Bringing you coverage of this ICC Women's 2020 International Winter Series. I say winter, it's more autumnal than wintry. 5 nations involved. I'm Andrew Elliott and pleased to have Thea Brooks as company alongside me. Hope that you're enjoying your coverage. Most if not all of the comments that have come in today on YouTube chat have been of a positive nature.
Mostly positive, which is great.
There's always the occasional one, unfortunately. That's the nature of the internet and anonymity and keyboard warriors and what have you. Lucy Barnett continues. High time round to the left-hander. Pyle.
But saying that, regardless of the comments, they're watching the game. So
Accentuate the positives.
We take the positives from it, which is great. So I'm back on the comments if anyone does have anything to say or anything to ask. As we have a tremendous dive to get in there.
Putting a tremendous number of diving flies on me. Once again, they are unstoppable here, the flies. Will not take no for an answer. She's bowled well, Lucy, hasn't she? Lucy Barnett. Very steady. Very few loose balls. She's got an easy action. Lovely. Comes through over the top. And lands them with some regularity. Do hope I haven't put commentator's curse on it.
No, it's coming through nicely. Lucy Barnett. I've done it again. Barnett.
Richie Benno is smiling down on you as we speak.
But John, appreciating the commentary this week. You're welcome. Hope you're enjoying. Great to have you with us.
Who's Jan?
John. Cricket John.
Oh, Cricket John, yeah. He's very enthusiastic. It's not John Howden, is it? It's not John Howden. I don't think he got time
I did think it could have been at one point.
He's not only
don't believe so.
heading up the organisational team, he's scoring. He's providing people with cups of water like umpires, which is his way of saying, you haven't got any time, get back out there. It's his coded message when he comes up with a glass of water as he leaves the field. So, Danny Wyatt is in your. She's a contemporary. She's in your age bracket.
She is. I
She
think
seems
she's
to
a
have been
year older
around.
than me.
She seems to have been around forever.
She has. Well,
Um,
I'm not too sure on the age that she made a debut, but I think it was around 17, 18.
Mm.
So she's been in plus 10 years. Very good whippet between the wickets
Yep.
and across the field. Probably, arguably, England's best fielder, I'd say.
And very sociable, I've heard.
Yeah, she's a great girl. She's a fantastic girl. Very funny.
27 for 1 after 5 overs of this reply. Spain just a little bit behind the required rate.
John said it wasn't who we said it was, which is good because he's scoring and needs to be doing something different.
Well, also he's in the players and match officials area, so he's not allowed his phone in there anyway.
Of course.
So it would be worrying if he was sending messages on the YouTube chat.
We've still got Perry. Morning. Is this still Perry? I think it is.
I don't think it is.
Is it not?
think
7.
I don't think it's
Oh no, I think
it's
Perry.
Alanya Thorpe. Alanya Thorpe. They've
Oh, it's not Perry. No. Yes.
a similar height and hair colour, but Alanya, of course, jumps off the wrong foot.
Oh, this is Perry who's just fielded that ball there.
Well, yeah, she's everywhere. She can't do it all. So yeah, Alanya Thorpe has taken over the bowling from the Crocodile Club end. She had a good day, Alanya. Imagine what she could achieve if we could get her jumping off the correct foot. Imagine how smoother her progression through the crease would be. Right. These are developing nations, let's not forget.
Well, the score's gone from a.
Well, there's an opportunity here. Safely taken. Backward point. So, slightly disappointing end there. Saeed just rather tamely chipped it up to backward point. It was pouched safely and easily, and it's the second wicket down for the Spain team.
Our score's disappeared from the TV screen and on the YouTube channel, so unfortunate. Oh, we're back on. Just as she says, we did miss it. It wasn't there.
Yep, we missed you. Don't go away again, please.
I know. I needed you.
It's not quite up to date because it's still showing 32 for 1, so we're fairly confident they're 2 wickets down. We have been slightly doubtful about a couple of wickets during this tournament where the batters have walked straight at each other as if it was the end of the over. But with that one, I think we can be pretty sure. We're halfway through the 6th over here, and that means we're approaching the end of the power play. It's been a decent power play for both teams. Contextual score in the game. Both teams very much still in it.
Driven beautifully.
Well,
Back to
driven
the bowler.
beautifully. That's Naomi, of course. Naomi, who's been in the commentary position already today. Naomi Hillman Bermejo. She joined you for a few overs earlier while I was out in the middle. She gets off the mark with a single, and I'm pleased to say that we're going to have a couple of guests during the rest of this innings who are also members of the Spain squad, which might initially be slightly confusing because they're involved in this match. But of course there is more than one Spain squad involved playing in cricket, and specifically talking about the tournament which took place here last weekend, which was the men's trilateral series involving Spain, Italy and Germany, where Spain finished in the middle position.
I was going to say, who came on top?
I'm just going to say Germany, because that's the answer. Okay.
Just getting clarification behind you because you were not too sure.
No, I was absolutely sure. I just so Germany aren't here. Germany aren't represented at this tournament. Italy are, of course.
Oh.
Played in the last match. That is the end of the power play.
It's so
The
wide
score-
though. You got one more ball.
Oh, it's so wide. I'm so desperate to get one of the guests on because because you've
Am
hogged
I leaving?
No, you've hogged all the guests so far in this
Oh,
tournament.
sorry.
So
I've had just as many as you. No?
no,
No, I've had 3 actually.
well, you've had 3 and I've had 0 so far, so I'm looking to put that right. So I think we can finally say that is the end of the power play.
We should ask the gents who they want to have commentate with them.
I believe the man immediately to my left is coming on first. That's what I've heard. So, Thea, I'm going to ask you to vacate for now while I introduce my guest. With much crackling. Fortunately, we don't have a way of switching off these microphones, so I'm sure my guest's going to put them on very carefully so we get too many background effects. I'm just going to. Oh, there is a change of bowling just as you take your seat. We've got Joe Hicks coming on to bowl from the Bearer end, and I'm pleased to introduce Spain men's opening batsman of recent history, Daniel Doyle-Kaye. Good afternoon to you, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Andrew. Thank you for having me here. It's a lovely setting at Desert Springs today. Myself not being on the field this time, but in the commentary box. As we see number 14,
Joe Hicks.
to bowl.
Yeah. So, Daniel, it is a beautiful setting. We've been commenting on it during our coverage here. Do you get to really appreciate it when you're out there in the middle?
Oh, well, when things are not going your way, if I must say, you tend to look into the distance, clear your head, and start again. So I've done that a couple of times last weekend.
So having such beautiful surroundings is actually a benefit. You can actually just take 15 seconds out to admire where you are.
Oh, of course.
Get a bit of context.
I think it does help. Yeah, it does help. Just to get yourself back to ground level and not to get ahead of yourself. And to get back into the moment, stay in the present. But yeah, last weekend was great for Cricket Spain's men's side. I think us finishing middle of the table was a good result for us, even though we could have maybe won another game.
Yeah, there was last game of the tournament was against Italy, which you were probably not expected to win, but favourites for, and they put a few too many on it, and you couldn't quite get past them.
Yeah, I think the previous day we chased 160. I wouldn't say fairly easily, but we managed to get to that total. And we definitely were confident about getting to that 160 target again. But unfortunately, I think just a bit too much pressure was mounted on the middle order batsmen. And unfortunately, yeah, I think we got bowled out for 127.
Yeah, it was... well, I heard one sage say before the tournament he felt that each team would win at least one and lose at each one, and that's exactly how it turned out in the tournament. So sometimes the results didn't make any sense in terms of form, but that's the nature of 2020 cricket. You've played a lot of T10 cricket now, so you know how things can go. I cast my mind back a couple of months to mid-September, and the Ireland men's team were dominating the T10 down at Cartama pretty much all week. I think they'd had one blip, but they came up against a roller coaster in the final. And that roller coaster, happily for you, was Spain, wasn't it?
I think that one blip you're talking about was that final. They were very strong.
They had lost one group game, I think.
Yeah, they were a very strong side during that week. Definitely a team that we were targeting. Shot.
It's a solid shot into the leg side, and
pushing for 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ireland were a very strong side, professional outfit. They had some good coaches there as well. But yeah, I think T10 cricket, anything can happen. We say this in T20, but when you shorten the format, I mean, one ball, one boundary, one wicket, it changes things completely. So yeah, we backed ourselves till the end, and we managed to chase down quite a large target.
Yeah, it's not just the number of balls available, is it? It's you're playing on an artificial, so there's less mystery about what might happen, but also you've got 50-yard boundaries which are actually shorter by 5 meters than the boundaries that the ladies, the women are playing to right now. So it means that batsmen down the order can clear the ropes. So you know, there's that lack of predictability, isn't there, in T10 cricket on an artificial with short boundaries. Not that many games are over until they're over, and I think that's Ireland found out to their cost a couple of months ago, and Spain were the beneficiaries. Got your berth into finals week.
Yeah, that's correct.
Where you took that form into the finals week, and then just tailed away towards the end. Unfortunately, and ended up in third on that instance.
Yeah, I think we were 6-0 at one point. We had won all of our group stage games, or all the games leading up to finals day on the Friday, and we were going in there confident, of course. But I think we lost 2 games in a row, or 3 games in a row on the Thursday, and I think that just broke our momentum just slightly. And yeah, unfortunately, when the job needed to be done, we just couldn't cross the line and win that first game against Netherlands to go straight into the final. But it was Netherlands and England. They were both really good, strong teams, and I guess the proper, pure cricketing nations got through to the end. But we were very happy with our result. I think just as a larger point of view, just to gel as a team, good team spirit. It was a building year for us, a transition year for us.
Yeah,
just to end it off like that was great.
I was just going to come on to you because I met you almost exactly a year ago, right here in Desert Springs, when you made your debut for Spain. So everything was pretty new for you. I know that you've been toing and froing from your native South Africa in that time, but more recently you were spending a lot more time here. So you're seeing the game in this country a lot closer. We'll move on to the women in a short while.
Yeah.
But how have you seen in those 12 months since you made your debut? How have you seen the development of the game here in Spain at grassroots and at the men's national level? How would you summarise it?
Very good question. And actually, I feel like I'm someone who can answer that quite well, because I've been coaching in Katama as well, with the juniors, the Marbella schools and all of that. I've been to Madrid and I've seen what they're doing there. So I've been all over this first year that I've been in Spain. And the amount of effort and work that gets put in behind the scenes, which not many people actually see, it's a tremendous amount. Whether it be coaches, I mean, Corey's done a fantastic job taking a team which haven't really kicked on from the previous years and that to just have a great, successful year. Yes, there were ups and downs, but I feel there were a lot of highs, some lows, but we're definitely moving in an upward trend. But it's year by year, it's now developing on this, and junior level is very important. Finding 15, 16-year-olds and putting them into an under-19 setup, finding pathways, developing pathways to show them that this is the way you're going to go if you're a good player, and eventually representing the national side, whether it be women's or men's. So I think each year it's going to grow strength by strength for sure.
Well, I think you bring up an important point there, that it's important to get native players coming through and playing the game, but the way that you can assist that is players such as yourself that have grown up in a different country. You've grown up in a test playing country, so you can bring your knowledge and experience from outside. It's impossible to do this alone. You mentioned Corey Rutgers there, who's a national coach, who's an Australian, who has spent also a lot of time involved in cricket in the Netherlands,
lots of experience,
which you just called a proper cricketing nation. You probably pitched them somewhere between England and Spain, of course. But players like you, so players can learn in and around, not just have you got people like you coming and coaching, but they're playing in and around you guys that have played a lot of cricket in the test playing nation. So leading off from that, tell us, because people will be curious about your history, why is this South African guy, because it's fairly clear that's where you're from your accent. Why is this South African guy playing for Spain? How does it work in cricket? So tell us a little bit about your personal history of how you've ended up. I understand you're in your mid-20s there or thereabouts.
Correct, yeah.
So how, as someone in their mid-20s who's grown up in South Africa, how have you ended up playing for Spain?
Well, firstly, I'd say the accent's not really really good for commentary, but just deal with me for these few overs.
Plenty of South African commentators out there.
But yeah,
some would say too many. I wouldn't be one of those people that would say that.
But no, yeah, South Africa, from South Africa, a small town called Port Elizabeth, which just changed to Gqeberha, which a couple of commentators are struggling to pronounce. I don't know if you want to give that one a shot.
Can you give me a spelling first, and I'll give it a
Oh,
go.
okay.
Okay.
Qgerbha.
Has anyone got a pen?
Or just say it the way I said. Gqeberha.
Okay. Say again.
Gqeberha.
Gqeberha.
Oh, nailed it. First go. Well done.
Okay.
Whoa, Dale Steyn couldn't get that one right.
So does that? So I'm guessing that comes from Wassa or something like that.
Wassa.
Wassa.
Xhosa, yes,
Yeah.
Xhosa. There you go.
Yeah, struggled
Loving
the-
the clicks. The
Struggled
clicks
the
you're
first
really
time
getting.
doing Wassa.
Yeah,
Getting-
Isi Xhosa. Yeah.
That only gets better with practice, doesn't it?
For sure, it definitely does. Living in the country helps as well.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway,
So
long
Port Elizabeth
story
now's
short.
it's
Yeah,
got a
long
Xhosa
story
name, so
short.
that's a small tangent, but
Yeah.
we enjoyed that.
Yeah, nice little city on the coast, south coast. It's called the Windy City. Played my cricket there all my life. Actually didn't really know about Spanish cricket about a year and a half ago. And sent an email through to John Howden and got an email back straight away with a phone call saying, oh, nice, you got a Spanish passport, can play a bit of cricket. Let's
Okay.
see how you do in the friendly matches that we had against Austria and MCC, and thankfully I did it right there.
So
and
let's just go back a few stages there,
Yeah.
because I think I know the answer to this one, but obviously we've got a little look. We had 5,000 people tuning in yesterday, so
that's a great
how
number.
come you got a Spanish passport?
So that is through my mother,
Mhm.
Elizabeth. She is
With an S?
no, with a Z.
Oh, well, right, okay.
Yeah, and well, Isabel in Spanish.
Mhm.
That's her Spanish name.
Okay.
And yeah, full on Spanish. She's got family members in Madrid, Segovia, all over, scattered all over. And her parents moved to South Africa and set up their family.
Was that before or after she was born?
That was before. She was
Okay.
born in South Africa.
Okay.
And she's gone to Spain ever since on holidays, little trips, meeting the family again. And hopefully she comes by next year. I'll make sure she does. But yeah,
So,
thank you to the mother.
So have Isabel or Elizabeth,
Yes,
I presume Calle, because I know that
Doyle. That's my dad's surname.
Doyle is your dad's surname, and
but-
Calle is your mum's surname.
Yes, there we
so
go.
You've adopted Spanish naming principles, which,
Yeah.
which is great to see.
Yeah.
So have you had a Spanish? Obviously, your mother had a Spanish passport from birth, even
Yeah.
though she wasn't born there.
Yeah.
Have you had a Spanish passport since
Yes.
birth?
So my mother, and again, thankfully, she's always made a point of whether the passport was going to expire or close to expiration, she would then make sure we go to Cape Town, where the Spanish consulate is situated, and we got our new passport. So it's always up to date for when we eventually do go back to Spain or go visit, things like that. And
Okay.
thankfully, my passport was ready to go, and I could come over when I was needed.
So initially, her tactic for the length of your life was to make sure that you could always visit Spain,
Oh, she
Without
wants
re-
me to
without
come
re-
live in Spain.
without realising that there was going to be this unthought of benefit of being able to actually represent Spain on the international level.
Exactly. I mean, so much has happened in the past year. Yeah, we actually never thought about, like I mentioned, we didn't know that Spain actually played cricket. And it was only until a year and a half ago that I think it was during COVID, scrolling through social media.
As you do.
And there was a
As you
post, Spain played cricket, and I saw Ravi Panchal there. I was like, who's this guy?
So,
And
no spoilers, please.
yeah, no spoilers.
Thank
but,
you.
but yeah, I was like, oh, I got a Spanish passport, can play a little bit of cricket. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, well, you're being modest, of course, because you made a lot of runs since your debut a year ago. Obviously, you'd have liked to have scored more, as every batter would.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, you've made your impact, and it's great that we really need cricket in Spain needs to thank your mother for that.
Oh.
So
I thank her every day. I think she knows that.
So it was a relatively quick process, obviously, from sending the email, getting a reply from John, confirming you had a Spanish passport, relaxing of restrictions, obviously, because you would have made initial contact during COVID times when presumably it wasn't possible to to travel, but once it was possible to travel,
Yeah.
everything happened quite quickly, did it?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously traveling with masks and so on, but traveling was fine. You had to fill out a few forms, but yeah, it was actually went quite smoothly. And the Rodriguez family, Juan Carlos and his family, President of Cricket Spain, welcomed me very well. Actually, South Africans themselves with the Spanish passport, Spanish background, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for any better, actually. Whether it be from the cricketing side or just the people who I've met. It's been great so far.
Well, I think it's worked reciprocally. I think everyone's been pleased to have you around.
Oh,
So,
some would say.
You've made your mark.
Maybe some wouldn't, but
Taken a lot of catches at long on. Dropped a few as well, but you've taken more than you dropped.
yeah, we'll just keep it that way, hopefully.
And yeah, made impact as well down at
But yeah.
Cartama. Not quite as many runs as you would have hoped for, as ever with batsmen. Last weekend, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Just you were in the habit of finding the fielder. I seem to notice.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about myself. It's Spain are currently 52 for 2, yeah, nearing into
Are you
the.
going for my job now? Okay, all right. Okay. No,
I'm just.
I understand this. I'm going to ask you to stay till the end of the over, Daniel. It's been tremendous having you here.
No, I don't want to take your job. But if cricket doesn't go my way in the following year, I might just have to take up commentary.
Well, that's cricket too. Yeah, it's all cricket. That's the way I get. Early today, I was out there umpiring. I started commentating. I'm out there umpiring. I don't think we're going to repeat that tomorrow. It's a lot to do, and it's a lot for Thea to cover as well. But yeah, I think Spain. Let's have a look at this match. They're going on at just under a run per ball, just under 6 per over.
Yeah.
The required rate's gone up to about 7.5. That's not insurmountable. They've only lost 2 wickets. So whilst I would put Isle of Man as favourites at this point, it's Spain are by no means out of it.
Not at all.
How much have you worked with these players?
To be honest, it's probably my second time watching them. First time watching live. That is
big full toss.
Straight at the head.
Both umpires with the arm straight out, no doubt about that one.
Well played though. Just took a single for 1. That will definitely be a free hit.
Well, we're gonna definitely keep you on mic for the free hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, it's not about you though.
I'd love to see a 6 here. I think there were 2 6s previously today, earlier today, which I might have missed.
No, I don't.
Okay, then I got false information from.
Don't think we had one very close,
Spain,
just
but
over here to our left.
Okay.
Towards the grounds, but we're yet to have a 6 in this
We're
tournament.
yet to have a 6. Hopefully it's right now.
But the one we did have one very close. It was the first one where I was out there umpiring, where I was just like, pretty sure that's. Well, it's a good bit of bowling actually.
Love the intent as well.
Because Alania Thorpe saw Payal coming down the pitch at her, and it was.
I love that.
Speared it in at her at her hands, and of course by coming down the pitch, the ball still had a good distance to travel, so no danger there with the repetition of the no ball call for height. Didn't actually pick up the single. That's must have taken something on the way through.
Ooh.
Must have taken a bit of trouser or something like
Asking
that.
for a wide.
She's asking for the wide. She's not going to get it. Anyway, Daniel, it's been absolutely lovely to have you here. Are you going to be around tomorrow?
I will be around tomorrow.
Okay.
We've come to watch the girls, and we'll stay till tomorrow evening. The girls are playing tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. So we'll be here for that one. Hopefully. They can put in another good performance, but we'll see the next half of this innings if they can cross the line and get a W.
Okay, well, you've done okay. You've passed your preliminaries, so Thea and I'll have a chat tonight, and we'll get the bigwigs involved, and we'll see. I understand that you're involved with the sponsor in some way, so there's a good chance of having you back on tomorrow if you can accept our company again. But Daniel, great to see you, and we'll see you later on in the tournament.
Thank you very much.
For your time.
Great job you guys are doing here, and I'll see you tomorrow.
He definitely wants to come back, doesn't he? So I'm just looking across to Thea to see if she wants to step in, or should we go to mystery guest number 2? Mystery guest with the spoiler alert already used. your name's already been mentioned. The surprise has been spoilt. So, Spain all-rounder Ravi Panchal, how are you?
I'm very well. Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Just going to get the technicians to adjust you a little bit so that we can hear your dulcet tones very well.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job, Andrew.
Thanks.
Everyone in Spain and everyone in Europe are really happy that you're doing really well.
Yep. Someone called me the new Vinny Sandu about an hour or so ago. It might have been me, but yeah, just happy to fill in where required.
No
Bring this
bullet
tournament to you.
and no bullet then, are you?
Well, I know that you have. I understand you have Indian background.
I do,
which
yes.
We'll go on to that in a while, but yeah, I'll leave that to other people. I've actually been on commentary with Mr. Maximo, Vinny Sandu, and I've steadfastly refused to use the word Maximo while I'm on, although it has been tempting. But yeah, I think he's nailed that catchphrase or the catchword for his own, and I think
Yeah, I
he
think we should leave it
deserves
to the pros. I think we should leave it to the pros, Andrew.
should leave it to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just had a chat with Daniel about cricket in Spain. So I'd like to hear a bit more about your history. I'm aware that, like Thea, you're from the sort of western half of the Midlands.
Yep.
So
So yeah,
paint us a picture of how your life, whether you started life there, what your background is, and how you came to be in Spain. Let's hear all about it, Ravi.
Yep, so born and bred in the UK, Birmingham. Used to play a lot of cricket back in my school, primary school, secondary school. And I played a bit of cricket for the Birmingham district team as well. Parents always used to come out to Spain for holidays. Parents fell in love with the country, and yeah, we moved out. 15 years in Spain now. Started my cricketing career in Spain playing for the under-17s team. Worked my way up to the full side and been within the national team for 10 years. So it's been a really good opportunity, and it's been a really good road for me in cricket in Spain.
Okay, that was a very quick summary. So let me just go back to various points you've raised there. So just watch this sort of scooped away into the leg side. Naomi Hillman, and the surname's just not sticking for me. It's not a surname I've heard before, but Naomi Hillman Bermejo just sort of scooped that one into the leg side for a single. She's batting very well on debut. So Birmingham's a big place. So
Yep.
which part of Birmingham are you from?
So Sparkhill.
Sparkhill, okay.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know if
you went to school around there as well?
Yep, so I went to St. John's Primary School in Sparkbrook, and then I went to a secondary school called Kingsley Boys.
Okay. We've always got a lot of people listening in from India, so which part of India does your family, do your parents come from the same place in India, or?
So my mum was born in India, Mumbai, and my dad was born in Kenya, in Africa, so
Okay.
I've got a bit of a crazy mix.
Okay. And Mumbai, was Bombay at the time she was born there, presumably?
Bombay, yep, Bombay. The city of dreams is what they say.
Okay. And what age were you when you came to? So you holidayed with them often as you were growing up in Spain?
Yeah, so every school holidays we used to get, whether it was summer, Easter, we always used to fly out to Spain. And Andrew, what is there not to like about Spain? You got the weather, you got the beach 2 minutes down your road. What else do you want?
You've asked me a direct question, which is always dangerous with me, Ravi. I'd like people to stop parking on zebra crossings. If you're going to ask me absolutely one thing that is not to like about Spain, I'd really like them not to park on zebra crossings. But if that's the only thing, then the country's doing all right, isn't it?
I'm sure there's a lot more things, but I don't want to say it on air. That's the only thing.
I went for something vaguely controversial, obviously. But yeah, no, Spain. I spend, as you know, ever since we came out of the other side of the pandemic, the thick end of the pandemic, I've tried to spend as much time here as I can.
Yeah.
Trying to enjoy my life here. Would love to actually get residency here one day, but that's something that you attained years ago. So,
Okay.
having always spent your summer holidays here, presumably you picked up a bit of Spanish by visiting here before you ever moved here.
Yep. So went to school here in Spain, and with a lot of hard work and a lot of having Spanish friends, I learnt the language, and to be fair, with now playing for the national setup, it's kind of mandatory that you do speak in your country's language. So yeah, Spanish is a really nice language to know.
So what age were you in when you moved here full time?
So I was 13 years of age when I moved out.
That's a pretty good age to learn. But you came here with knowledge from your holidays of the Spanish language.
Yeah, I mean you pick up quite a bit. Yeah. You pick up the normal words, But it took around about 6 months to fully get a conversation going, and then near enough a year with extra studies and stuff to then get a full-blown conversation out of it. So yeah. Yeah.
No, I've heard you in action. You sound like a native.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you do to my untrained ear anyway. But yeah, it's great. So you're long time set up then. So are we allowed to know how old you are now?
28.
28. So
Yes.
you've now over half your life here, based in Spain.
Correct.
And so I've been since under 17s in the setup.
Yeah.
So you come through, you've graduated, you've been in the full national team. You were in the squad last weekend. Didn't get a shirt last weekend, unfortunately, but you did. I don't know how you feel about it. You were the beneficiary of someone who's getting a little bit old and hadn't played too much cricket recently, and while I was umpiring, and it's always a rubbing your chin moment. Someone missed the entire fielding effort because they needed a back rub.
Yeah. It's always disappointing when you don't get into that playing 11, but you just got to go back and rebuild and make sure you work harder to get in that playing 11 again.
You've actually nearly talked me out of discussing your supreme fielding effort, where you stood in for a full 20 overs.
Oh, thank you.
In the outfield, you were the ball followed you.
Yeah.
You were everywhere. You covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
You fielded very well. It was nice to see you out there enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to be in the squad and not in the final 11 than to be and not to get the invitation at all. So you're obviously very much in the selectors' thoughts.
No, wherever you need to play a part, you have to go out and just do it. Whether it's fielding, batting, or bowling, you just go out there and get it done.
Yeah, and you did the job last weekend.
Yeah.
So going back, we spoke to Daniel there about grassroots in Spain. I believe you're based in Alicante.
Yeah.
Alicante province, is that right?
Correct. Yes. Play for La Manga Cricket Club, club-wise.
Okay, and do you get involved at all in grassroots coaching on that side of things?
Due to COVID, didn't have the opportunity to go back to the UK. Next season, I'm looking to go back to the UK and play some cricket. So should be hopefully getting some coaching duties in and helping the next generation.
Okay, so you're looking to get coaching qualifications?
That's something I'm looking to get, and hopefully, get stuck in with the coaching side of things as well. Yeah,
well, I know you're very well thought of in the Spanish cricket setup, so I'm sure they'd be delighted to get you involved as much as possible. But meanwhile, you just mentioned you're only 28, so clearly you've got a lot of playing time left.
Still young. Andrew's still young, and I still want to be playing a lot more cricket.
You're slim, you're fit.
Than't you.
And I meant fit in the athletic sense, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
Just to clarify. I'm hoping to spend more time involved with cricket here, so looking forward to spending lots of time watching you on the field.
Thank you very much.
Whenever appropriate. That was quite a lengthy over there from Kira Buchan. A few problems with extra balls. And it's just boosted the Spain run rate up to 6.5, which is not far off the original requirement. So overs might have just got Spain back into it. I believe that the captain Elspeth Fowler, who was first out, she's a La Manga player.
Yeah.
Any of these other of these players connected with La Manga?
No, just
or
Elspeth.
The Alicante region, at least.
No, just Elspeth. I think the rest of the girls are from the Barcelona region. I played a lot of cricket with Elspeth this season. She's got a lot of talent. Hopefully tomorrow she comes back strong with a big score. Hopefully. Yeah, she just played the wrong shot, the wrong ball today when she'd actually made a bright start. So it was a shame, just a moment of misjudgment, which happens to better and worse batters than you or I or Elspeth. So it happens to everyone at some stage. So she'll bounce back from that. But I think
She won't be thinking about that at the moment. I think she'll be thinking about the fact that
Spain are in a comfortable
A-
position to get
the
this
sun
score
is
done.
going down,
Yeah.
which we need to get a check on this. Yeah, it's gone. Directly behind us, I can suddenly see the graphics very clearly. Suddenly notice that the scoreboard is shining out as 2 are taken there. Well, actually, what was the end result there?
2 runs, I think it was. Yeah. No, just the 1.
Okay, I think it was 1, and then Pyle actually ran probably 2.5 in the end, because she came back most of the way down the pitch for the second, got sent back, so she's done a lot of running. She can have a breather at the non-striker's end. Ravi, I'm going to thank you for your time. I'm going to ask you to spend the rest of the over with me, if that's okay.
That's fine.
And
Absolutely
then
fine.
we're going to get Thea back to earn her bed and board. And are you staying on site or off site tonight?
No, we're actually staying in Mahaka, which is about half an hour away from here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've come down to support our girls, and hopefully they do us proud.
Yeah, Mahaka stayed there myself 10 days ago. It's a lovely place. Playa or Pueblo?
Playa, yeah.
Playa, okay, yeah. I was there. I was in El Palmeral
Okay,
about 10 days ago on my way up here.
nice.
Stayed there last night before the men's tournament, yeah. Got a good cricketing friend in England. He used to be wicket-keeper batsman for Notts under-19s. He tries to get there every year and is always raving about it, so went there to experience it for myself. Yeah, it's a lovely place. Very old. Well, the Pueblo is at least.
Yep.
Playa. It's very English, which you can take as a good or a bad thing. So you're travelling down there. There's a misfield on the boundary, and
I think she saved that. She saved that.
perilously close. That's Lucy Barnett down there, who misfielded and must have had heart in her mouth as it went towards the rope, but reacted calmly and quickly and got that in. So Mahaka for you tonight, and then back for just tomorrow, or tomorrow and Monday?
Yeah, I think tomorrow evening we set off, and yeah, back home.
Back to La Manga. Oh, that's a solid looking shot from Naomi Hillman Bermejo. Really came sweetly off the bat.
Andrew, I just want to say one thing before I go off air. Just for all the viewers out there, I just want to say to keep up to with all the live updates and whatever on social media, to follow our Instagram page, fem.cricket_Spain, for all live updates and all the progress with women's cricket in Spain.
Just want to say that address again for someone who was people who might have just been reaching for a pen, as Naomi goes on the sweep here. Again, hits it very nicely around the corner, just a single. Lucy Barnett's there again on the boundary to field it.
So fem.cricket_Spain is our Instagram.
Is that FEM at the beginning, yes?
Correct.
FEM.
Cricket_Spain.
FEM.cricket_Spain. So that's the address to keep in touch with events. Ravi, will you come back and see us again?
100%.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew, for your time.
I'm going to give you a handshake, because I know you like a handshake, an occasional hug.
See you tomorrow.
You're not a fan of the fist pump, I remember that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Made that mistake on the field, but Ravi, lovely to see you again.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I am being summoned, yes. Well done.
That was a good interlude. Special guest time, not 1 but 2. Good things come in 2s.
Or 3s, as some might say.
Well,
That's why I'm back.
Bad things come in 3s, don't they?
That's
So,
disappointing.
good things come in 2s. But yeah, just it's probably with the dot ball here. This shows how close this is. Spain just nudged themselves up above the required run rate in this innings, and with that dot ball, it just switches around again. So there was a longish over there from Kira Buchan while you were away from the camera. I know you were watching. Just got Spain somewhat back into the game, but captain's shown faith. Claire Crowe has given Kira Buchan another over, and that is solidly struck. Wonderful sound off the bat as that flies perfectly between 2 boundary riders there, one at straight mid wicket, one at long on, and it's another boundary. shots off the bat of Naomi Hillman Bermejo. And Spain are right back into this, aren't they, Thea?
Definitely means business. Naomi does. Again, had a lovely conversation with her in the last game. She was really geared up for this, really excited. But I've noticed the scoreboard and the batters' totals are different to what's on my screen. So I'm interested to see. And I know that gets a little bit close when it comes to certain milestones.
And
So
it's become more and more noticeable as the scoreboard begins to shine more brightly on the other side of
you
the
can
ground.
actually see it now as well.
Some parts of the day you can't see it from an oblique angle. I think it'll be visible to almost to someone who's behind it at the moment, because it is getting quite dark. We're about 5 minutes away from the official sunset here in La Algarrobina. It's a precise location. That's the nearest hamlet.
Fantastic footwork from Naomi, just charging down, hitting the ball into a lovely space. Just, I'm not going to say a gap because it went towards long off. Oh, I can actually hear myself now. You don't like a prediction, do you?
I don't like a prediction.
I love
think
a
I
prediction.
think that comes from my umpiring side, because you should expect the unexpected when you're umpiring, and also you can be made to look a chump. That's solid noise on the back pad, but I suspect from the angle that Kira comes in, I suspect that would have pitched outside a leg stump, or if it pitched on the stump, it would be going past off. Again, we're not watching. We're watching the live action so that we can see the things that you can't on screen. Having said that, now that the sun's gone down, and it's beginning to show even on the screen, it's certainly now much easier to watch our monitor, as that's a low full toss. Again, lovely sounding contact on the bat. Chance of being cut off, but not on this occasion, and that one reaches the pickets. We haven't had a 6 yet in the tournament, but we haven't had many. We've had a few reach the pickets, not many, but that was solidly struck.
Celebrated by our special guests. Punch in the air.
They were reserved on air, but unlike us, they very much have their Cricket España caps on.
Well, it's great to see.
Figuratively speaking, and why not?
It's great to see the gents supporting the women. I think that's really important, especially in this kind of game, and it's definitely recognised.
Yep, and the women know who the two gentlemen are, so they'll be very happy that they're here supporting. And the president's here. The president of Cricket España has turned up, Juan Carlos Rodriguez. So, where have we got to? We've got the targets down to 1 run per over. 1 run per ball. It's the first time that's happened. And actually Spain are also, it's all quite mathematically neat. They're going at exactly 7. Requirements exactly 6. So, just swinging in Spain's direction at the moment. They're only 2 down. We're not too sure of the batting to come, so imperative that these two stay together. Well, not imperative, that's a wall.
Perry's back into the attack.
Perry is back into the attack. Catherine Perry back into the attack, and we're just going to say that she didn't like her foothold there. She right at the crease. Don't think there's any suggestion that Payal was out of her crease. Just didn't like the foothold that she got. Comes again. That's chipped over that short cover that we've mentioned previously.
Loves to find a gap, Naomi, as she ticks it along, as she moves on our screen to 28, on the scoreboard 27. They've changed it now. I feel like they can hear us.
Well,
if they can, I'm really sorry.
The scoreboard is operated from inside the players and match officials area, so they're not allowed to listen to any internet coverage. So as much as I'm sure they'd like to be listening to us and getting prompts when the scoreboards would arrive, they're not allowed to. That's just a reminder, these are ICC matches, so they come under the auspices of the anti-corruption unit. We've had people on I noticed on the YouTube chat yesterday asking for where they could bet on these games. Maybe there is somewhere, but not somewhere we're aware of. But
no comment, Your Honour.
Betting takes many forms, and as we're showing it live, there might be somebody running a book somewhere. So that's why the anti-corruption unit are always alert to possibilities.
It's well placed. Can they come back for a 2 in the hand? If they go quickly, they will. She runs the bat in. Easy, comfortably comfortably home for Naomi. You can tell the momentum's shifting with Spain at the moment. Isle of Man slightly quiet in the field. It's always a good sign as a batting unit.
Yeah, that's why you've normally got the wicketkeeper keeping everyone going until the last possible moment. But even the keeper sometimes runs out of steam. We're not anywhere close to that stage yet. There's a long way to go in this match. 38 to win off 39 balls.
Well, talking of entertaining keepers, Payal, I really loved her in the first innings, and now she's contributing beautifully with the bat. On 28 off 41, she's been a real steady companion for Naomi. I think the two of them together, if they continue this partnership, again, I usually throw a commentator's curse. If they continue this partnership, I can't see them not getting over the line.
I know you're a resident women's cricket expert, but I'm pretty sure that Payal bowled and didn't keep.
Was she not a keeper?
No.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I got false information from my Spanish companion.
They're pointing.
Don't you dare blame.
They're pointing at each other. I'm getting deja vu here, because when I asked one of them to volunteer to come and do a stint, they both pointed at each other then as well. So
horrific.
Yeah, they're obviously we don't live in a blame culture, but that looked a bit like it. So,
Can I just double check, please? Oh, that's embarrassing. Thank you.
Okay.
I won't tell the audience which one it was.
Our information is that Tashbaan Mirza kept wicket in the first innings, but we have been misfed information already in this tournament. But
don't worry, I won't tell him, Ravi. It's okay.
I'm not sure about the identity of the wicketkeeper, but I'm fairly sure that Payal Chilongia bowled 4 overs, and I don't remember there being a switcher keeper. So anyway.
Moving on.
That's part of the development process. We keep mentioning it doesn't just take place on the field. The development process. That's a quick, good end of the over actually there from Catherine Perry, having gone for 4 off the first half, just going for 1 off the second half. So she's just got that required rate above the 1 run per ball, and the actual run rate below 7. So that's when they can start to merge and cross over. Things can get a bit nervy.
But we're in the 30s now. I think in this instance, I know you can't see runs required, but in this instance, I know that a couple of us like to look at the runs and just see it tottle down and then make it to the 20s.
You can see runs required if you can subtract 96 or 132.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that when you're batting, though.
No, you're not even between
don't start an argument with me here. For us, it's nice and easy commentating. We can look, we can do a little bit of maths, but out in the middle.
Okay. Let's not get started on maths. Summary of that conversation.
I've taught a bit of maths.
Let's not get started on maths. Now you mentioned you can't see the runs required on the board. The board is becoming one of the few things you can see. I look around
the board's allowing us to play.
I think it is the ball. We haven't got lights here at this ground, obviously. I think, as you quite rightly say, we might be off by now if it wasn't for the fact that the scoreboard's very, very bright and shiny. And it's reflecting nicely off the shirts of particularly the Isle of Man players out there. This match is so close. I really hope that it's not decided by bad light and Duckworth-Lewis. But we're 2 minutes past 6 now, so I can officially confirm that the sun has gone down.
Could have pushed a third there potentially.
In a part of Spain, well, they might not be able to see which of those two fielders had the ball. As they converged on it. It was easy for us to see. They're relatively close to us. But yeah, it's getting murky here. You can tell I'm potentially standing up for my colleagues, aren't you? I'm preparing a defence for my umpiring colleagues out there because it is getting dark.
Every run is being celebrated down on the sideline. I think Spain have been my favourite, most animated team on the side.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra local support on the bank, so it's not just purely the skeleton of the touring entourage because they've got the local support, but just Becky Corkish, who's come on to bowl for the first time in this game, didn't bowl this morning, so this is the first we've seen of her, and it's a tough time for her to come on, isn't it? She's not just she's not getting through the crease at the moment. She's running up enthusiastically, but whether her nerves are taking over, she's just stopping
Well, they celebrated that last ball.
Would like to see her get through. Nice follow through. Get into the batters a bit. Come on, Becky. Let's shake off those nerves. Get through the action. It's a bit better there. Stop, but still no follow through. But it does get a dot ball.
Get on the front foot. Front foot and punish it.
Okay.
Through the covers.
I think Thea wants to see a non-Duckworth-Lewis.
I do. I think that'll be. I think that'll be a really disappointing finish because this game's been so good to watch.
Well, it's been the least predictable game that we've had so far of the 4. The result of the other 3 has been fairly apparent halfway through, or before even halfway through the second innings. Here, it's by no means decisive for either team here. You would have Spain as very slight favourites, but not much. Sort of a 60-40, maybe even a 55-45 for Spain at the moment. A lot will depend on these two.
It's a fantastic partnership between the two.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Thea, but I'm starting to watch our TV monitor more than I'm starting to watch the live action. As ever in these situations, TV commentators, you'll hear them saying this all the way around the world. It looks lighter on your TV screens than the reality of what's out there. So do bear that in mind as we try and get this match through. But one thing you can't fight is the elements. There are no floodlights here, so the sunset is something that's been and gone, and we can't do anything about. And it's not just getting together. And for the first time, talking about getting together, the umpires are getting together for the first time. It didn't quite get together. It was a very brief conversation.
Is it all good? Yep. Okay. Cool. Let's carry on.
Well, just nervy moment there as Mark Chappell just adjusted the wicket at his end. I thought he was going to take the bails off. But again, we shouldn't kid ourselves. These conditions are far from ideal.
No.
And it's come down to 32 off 5 overs. Well, if the umpires did say to each other one more over there, it's extremely unlikely that we're going to get a result in this over. 32 runs or 8 wickets are the only two things that would bring a result. So we'll have to see what happens. We're going to have a change of bowler.
Hicks is back.
Joe Hicks, switch of ends for her. And she is one of the slower bowlers in the Isle of Man setup. And she's taking her time here, which I don't really want to see balls being bowled here. I don't think there's any real danger to the batters here. The trouble is the fielders picking up the ball. I mean, that ball, as you can see there, that's been hit straight of mid-wicket, only just to her left, and see a moment of hesitation as the fielders looking to see where the ball was. Appeal for a run out. I think that's a fairly comfortable 2 being taken.
Very good 2. I think it's interesting actually because there are only 3 fielders out with their 4 that they could have, and in this game you'd have that extra 4th player out. I don't know why they're not, especially with a slow bowler. I think that might be something that there was a little bit of conversation then, but still nothing changed.
Well, let's bear in mind that we think that there's been a bit of captaincy by numbers from the Isle of Man team as this is hit out towards a wide long on. They are going to go for the second.
Good
throws
running.
wide, so again, well achieved. We've been not critical, that's not word. We've pointed out that they've been a little bit of almost captaincy by numbers, that they've had 2 out and then 4 out immediately as soon as the power play's finished. As I say that, our 4th fielder's going out, but at least for a couple of balls there, we just had the 3 fielders out, so at least they're not doing it exactly by numbers, as this is hit very strongly into the leg side, but straight to the deep square leg fielder. Just the 1 run.
I hate to say it again, but we're in contention for a half century again.
Oh no, you've done it now.
No, I haven't.
You've
I
done
haven't
it
at
now.
all. I think Naomi's playing fantastic innings of cricket at the moment. She's going at above her on a ball.
Did
So
you see
she's-
Lucy Barnett's position there? That was a really good position just before the image just froze on the replay there.
I
She was
didn't
just
know.
loaded up to throw the ball. She's obviously, she's a natural sportswoman, but she's had some good coaching as well, I reckon. As that's forced through the offside, Fielder will need to run round, so comfortable 2 will be achieved.
Still requiring 6 and over, but they're going ahead of that. Oh, it's just dropped just below 6s. It's going to be a tight game. It's an exciting game, this. Everyone is cheered from the Spanish bench.
So I've got a feeling I'm going to give a bit of context to this light.
It's horrific.
I'm starting to get worried that I'm actually going to leave something behind at in our commentary position, because I'm not going to be able to see it. By the time this match
Terrible.
finishes, we get packed up, a laptop and everything. I'm convinced I'm going to leave something behind. It is getting that dark.
It's not good.
In fact, my laptop screen is probably the only thing lighting up my face at the moment, isn't it? You've got your monitor. I've got my laptop screen.
Even the monitor's really dark.
Joe Hicks then to complete the 16th over. It's been a productive over for the Spain team. 1s and 2s off every ball. Well,
This is...
not both of them. There's been either 1 or a 2 off every ball on that over. So that's just pushed the require rate down, and I can see the umpires walking towards each other here. 22 required off 4 overs.
Don't ask for a
Spain,
drink.
5.5 overs required, and they're pointing towards the players. And
Here we go.
rather understandably, it looks to me like they're explaining that.
Speak to the
or
batters.
are they? I thought I saw a wave to go away there, but actually Nilkash Patel has taken up his position at the bowler's end. I think he looks like he's at the bowler's end, so at least he's somewhere near it. Well, I don't know. I thought I saw a gesturing off the field there from the umpires. Did you spot that? Again,
It's interesting.
we've got a get out here, and that we can't really see what's happening. And look, my laptop screen's just gone off. No screensaver's come on, and
Nothing's happened.
Immediately the place seems darker. So let's get back on again.
Well, Naomi, 39 of 33, carried this team through beautifully. With Payal, who's on 33 off 50. I think they've worked incredibly well together.
Who bowled the previous over at this end?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're testing me now. I
think
can't
that-
remember.
No, it's not. It's the same bowler.
Becky.
I think. Do you know what I think?
Oh, Corkish.
Yeah. Do you know what I think the signal was then? I'm
Go
going
on.
into my umpire experience.
Oh.
Was well, I think judging from the action there, Payal has been bowled. But did you see any bails come off? I didn't see a thing.
I think I heard a bit of wood, but that was about it. Could have been anything.
I think maybe Isle of Man wanted to bring one of their quicker bowlers back on, and maybe the umpire said, whichever particular bowler they wanted to come on wasn't eligible to bowl in this light. With Becky being, although she runs in a long way, she does stop at the crease, and it's quite gentle pace. So maybe.
But then I'll say, if that's the case, then surely you call the game there, because that's if that is the case, that's unfair. That's unfair to the Isle of Man.
Well, in that case, Isle of Man could have just said, "Well, no, we want to bowler," and the umpires could have said, "In that case, we're going off." That happens at all levels of the game. It happens quite a lot in Test cricket, where fielding teams, if they want to get through more overs, they will put their slower bowlers on, and they'll say, "Actually, this is going nowhere with the slower bowlers," and they say, "Actually, we want to bowl our seam bowler," and the umpires say, "Well, that's in that case, we're going off."
But we also know that the more wickets that fall, or every wicket that falls, Duckworth-Lewis score goes up.
Yep.
So it's going to be.
Although at the moment they are only 3 down, so I would
should
think,
be okay.
I would
shouldn't it?
think.
I think Spain are on top at the
I'm
minute.
looking to see if Peter Scott's anywhere near. Well, it's a very loopy
Oh,
ball.
he hasn't
As
got.
As it left the hand, I thought that it was going to be above waist height. In the end, it actually bounced, I think, before it reached the striker. So, big change of pace there. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, definitely bounced before the striker and took her on the pad. I think it would have been a wide if she maybe moved inside the line. But they're not going to get in this in wides. There's not enough time.
No.
Need to get this in boundaries.
They need to get Naomi on strike. And if this goes for 4, that's even better.
Yeah. That's Amy Brown Carrera, who's come out to bat.
This is ridiculous in terms of the light. How they are still playing is beyond my knowledge.
I'm also thinking, I was saying about tidying up our stuff. I'm thinking if they switch the scoreboard off, we might not be able to find our way back to the pavilion.
It's
It's getting that dark.
daft.
Wide ball. Well,
They can't play anymore after this, surely.
I think I'm glad that I'm in the commentary box and I did the second game and not the third one today because,
You'd be off by now, I imagine. You'd be bringing them off.
well, I don't want to commit myself because I'm not umpiring this match. But
Might be lighter in the middle, you never know. We might be under the dark marquee.
I think I've just seen the umpire's arm go up just before Becky released that ball, but because it's so dark, I can't see what he was gesturing. It's slightly obscured by the non-striker as well from the angle we're at. We're beyond the, well, I say just a reasonable distance beyond the deep extra cover boundary, so that's not helping us either. There's a good 15 yards, dozen to 15 yards or so between us and the boundary rope. We can't get our tent closer because it's pinned down by the picket fences. There's a misfield there as it rebounds off Becky Corkish, but she manages to retrieve it without any other runs resulting. It's a better over from her. A couple of wides and the boundary, but she has taken the crucial wicket. As well.
Ooh.
Another wide down the leg side. And we're into the teens, and half a fear at the end of a long day's umpiring when the number of runs required gets into the teens, it can come very quickly. But again, I thought the last over was going to be the last of the game.
What do you think they'll do? Do you think they'll think, right, 14 required, or do we play?
Well, you can't see it all the batsman's way, can you? Because it's not fair to think that way, because the only way really that Isle of Man can win this game without Duckworth-Lewis is by bowling 3 overs. And again, I'm seeing gesticulations between the two umpires. Mark Chappell looks unhappy. That's from the little body language that we can see. Mark Chappell is unhappy.
Yeah.
And he is. I can see a disappointed sinking of the shoulders from the two Spain batters, and they are walking towards the pavilion. Really.
It's going to be tight, this is.
Duckworth-Lewis, unfortunately.
This could go either way.
We need Peter Scott near us. I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go. This is a victory to Spain. This is a victory to Spain on Duckworth-Lewis.
You know what I'm actually upset about?
They only need 4 runs per over. Oh, look, it's suddenly got brighter. Bring them back on.
That's
that's
a lie.
No, that's obviously some technology that's kicked in from Audio Visualis and Murcia. But starting off needing 6.5 and over, only needing 4 and over now, and with only losing 3 wickets, that's a comfortable Duckworth-Lewis. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I know a fair bit about Duckworth-Lewis. That's a comfortable victory to Spain. So I'm actually going to go further than that, and I'm going to say, well done, Spain. You deserve this victory. The two batters out there look disappointed. Maybe they haven't played under Duckworth-Lewis before. Maybe they don't realise that they're perhaps potentially walking off having won this match. But
I'm
what
disappointed
do we think?
for Naomi. 41.
Let's not be over controversial here, but let's cast our mind back today when we had about 50 minutes between matches, when we had no cricket. How much we'd have liked 50 minutes or even half an hour's more light on the end of this game. I think they went on for 2 overs too many. I think with 15 minutes, if we'd started 15 minutes earlier this match, then we could have seen it through to an on-field conclusion rather than the off-field. Look at that angle now. It's there's a filter somewhere that Audio Visualis and Murcia are using where it's suddenly got brighter. In a similar way to my microphone has got a lot louder at several points during today's commentary. We're going to stay on until we can get some type of confirmation. We're going to bring that confirmation to you. I think we're going to struggle with the with the post-match interviews today. We haven't got any light to do it in. Who's your player of the match?
My player of the match is Naomi.
Yep,
She's
bowled well, didn't
she's
she?
bowled very well, and she had a match-winning contribution. 41 off 34. It's exactly what a team needed and required. I think Payal supported her beautifully in that role.
They both bowled well.
They did. Now I know that she was a bowler.
Not the keeper. Yeah.
Oh, horrific from a fellow Spanish team.
Well.
But easily done.
Oh, you're blaming someone else. Sorry.
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
I am, yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. I just I thought you were going to say horrific from you. Then I realised you were
No, I was
You're
pinning the
passing the
blame. Passing the blame.
passing the buck. Okay. We're going to leave the coverage open just for a few more minutes. What I'm going to do actually, Thea, because I think you're probably going to get the scorecards up, is I'm going to get official confirmation that Spain have won this on Duckworth-Lewis, and I will leave you to do the post-match summary.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you'll be accompanied by the graphics, because they always help. So I know you haven't committed everything to memory.
Yeah, I only managed to get half of my scoring down, unfortunately, but just like to reiterate that it is actually extremely dark out there now, so it might look as though it's quite bright on the coverage, but I can guarantee you that it is not here at the Desert Springs ground. However, we've had 3 very entertaining games of cricket today. We've had some good scores, good performances with the bat and ball, but looking at the final game for Spain, we believe would have been to have won this final fixture against Isle of Man, which is a fantastic victory for them if they have done so on Duckworth-Lewis. As my colleague Andrew has already said, he knows quite a lot about Duckworth-Lewis, so hopefully he's hitting a nail on the head there. With Spain's victory, we think he's just headed off to confirm that, however, so that will come back to us shortly. Just waiting for the graphics to come on the screen so we can look at the rundown, and here they are as we have just mentioned. So really outstanding performances from Payal Chalongia and Naomi Hillman-Belejo. So 33 off 52 for Payal and 41 off 34 from Naomi. I thought their partnership was absolutely fantastic in the middle. It was integral for the win. I'm not 100% sure on their partnership, but it was a fantastic partnership nonetheless. I think the two of them together really worked hard, and then Amy Brown Carrera coming in at the end, 5 off 3, supporting Naomi with a beautiful boundary past square leg. So that was fantastic, finishing 121 for 3, and we're going to look at the Duckworth-Lewis to get those results. Then hopefully having a look at the bowling figures when they come up, so we can have a look at those and see how the Isle of Man, how they worked out with their bowling. So we'll hold fire for those to appear on our screens. As and when they are ready to come. Only 5 batters being required for Spain, which I bet they're significantly happy with. Before they came out to bat, chasing a total of 132. Again, below par, what we said this morning. We were looking at 150 minimum is a defendable target, which obviously would have been in this instance, but we'll never know if 132 would have been defendable for the Isle of Man, unfortunately. Still waiting on those bowling figures to come up as a summary, so we can have a look at those. But just while we're waiting, I'd like to thank everybody that has joined us today for the cricket. There's been 3 fantastic games, as previously mentioned, all of which have been really thrilling to watch from the side. It seems so long away. So we had Norway against the Italy this morning. No, so it's Italy-Sweden in the middle game. Apologies. And then we had it must have been Isle of Man or Norway. Oh, I'm having a bit of a blank as we go through the day. It's coming to the end of a very long day. I don't think these bowling figures are going to come, so I think it's best if I sign off. and I assume the results of the Spain and an Isle of Man game will come to you in some format, whether that be on Cricinfo, Play Cricket, or on Cricket España. So keep an eye out for that, and then we can have a look. And I look forward to coming back to you guys tomorrow.
Well done, everyone, for swimming. That's good job. Just look back over the statistics of the match. Bowling is there, pretty solid innings. Again, just one player going for 10 runs per over or more. But just going to break away from the stats we see on the screen, just so we have got a confirmation of the result from the match on the Duckworth-Lewis basis. Spain have won by 13 runs. More details coming to you shortly. Just change microphones there, so you might have heard me in the distance there, coming off a different microphone. So the confirmation is that Spain have won this match in the dark on the Duckworth-Lewis method, Duckworth-Lewis Stern method, by 13 runs. That's a fair result. I did say I wasn't sticking my neck out that far. Spain were definitely in control of the match at the time that the interruption came. Interruption for bad light. But you can't really call it an international. Thea Brooks, is it an interruption for bad light when it's simply that night has arrived?
Well,
it's not really. It's just
it's not really an interruption, like you say.
Not enough. Well, it's an interruption of
It's just here.
around about 13 or 14 hours, because night has fallen here in at Desert Springs, in the province of Almeria. It wasn't possible to play any more light. It's going to be reviewed. The way that the day panned out, but we can refer, well, on my screen I've just been over and I've been told that Spain had won by 13 runs. It's just come up on the screen now that they've won by 14. So you can make of that what you will. I was told that the pass score was 107, and at the time the Spain score was 120, but actually Spain finished on 121, so their margin of victory is slightly greater. 14 runs. Spain won this match by Duckworth-Lewis. What we're going to get, given the fact that this match has finished in official night time, we are going to speak to the people at Audiovisuales Murcia and find out whether it's possible to speak to a couple of key players in the pavilion where there is some light, because there is not enough light here outside at the ground to conduct any interviews. So bear with us. If you want to see some player interviews, we will try and get those for you shortly.
So we're here with today's player of the match for our final game of Spain against the Isle of Man. Got Naomi with us. Naomi, congratulations. How did you find that game today?
It was a bit of a challenge, obviously, getting used to the surface, but really good win. I think it's the first win for Spain, like, ever, so really big celebrations when we get back.
That's fantastic, and obviously you played a massive integral part in that game, so scoring runs and taking wickets. So obviously you were with ball first, so how did that go, opening the bowling?
I quite like the surface. It was moving in because there was quite a lot of wind, so it was my kind of surface to bowl, and just needed to get my line and length right, and I tried to do that.
And then with the bat as well, obviously yourself and Payal at the end, having a fantastic partnership there, which I wanted to say saw Spain over the line, but we came off, first time I've ever seen it, come off for light and finished with the game on Duckworth-Lewis, but 41, not out. How did you find that?
I think it took a while to get used to the surface, but after a while it was just kind of staying in and getting the team over the line, and it's a shame that we couldn't actually do that because of the light, but good win, so just happy to help the team.
No, definitely. I think I didn't realise that it was Spain's first ever win, so congratulations on that front. That's incredible. I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight. But you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the whole tournament. It's going to be really fun, and everyone's really nice, so it's great.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Naomi. Congratulations once more, and I hope you have a lovely evening tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of cricket today, isn't there, Thea?
It has, yes. It's been a great day of cricket. I think we've seen some incredible performances all round.
Yeah, let's just recap briefly. So we had Norway in the morning, who made some improvements on their performance yesterday, but obviously didn't put enough on the board for the Isle of Man. They got across the line comfortably. Then we had the middle game, which was at the time was the most competitive game we'd seen. We saw Italy again showing their value with the bat. Didn't know what to expect from the Swedish lineup, but didn't have quite enough firepower to get to 100. So again, not that close. Then finally, well, we got our first close game of the tournament, and unfortunately, the sun set. There's nothing we can do about that. The sun set, and we had to rely on Duckworth-Lewis. We probably went on for a couple of overs too long when we were struggling to see what was happening. But Spain on the Duckworth-Lewis method, and let's say, okay, it's gone down to Duckworth-Lewis, but they were winning that game when they came off. They'd got the run rate required down to 4. They had 7 wickets in hand. They needed to get, I think it was 15 off, no, it was 13 off 4 overs, I think was the margin at the end that they needed. Did you feel they were going to get over the line?
Yeah, 100%. I think with Naomi in the form that she's in, again, we've already spoken about Payal as well, with her contribution of 30, I believe it was. I think they were both fantastic today. You know, they took the bowlers on, which was even better than what we wanted to see. We've said time and time again, seeing people come down the wicket and meet the full ball on the full, which is exactly what they did. They pushed the fielders, they ran well, and I think they played the game very, very well. And it was a shame that they didn't finish the game today, because I think that finishing would have been a massive celebration for them as well, whereas it was a bit of an anticlimactic kind of end. I mean, it's still fantastic that they got the win, but you want to get a win by winning, not by a Duckworth-Lewis.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you could actually see, I'm sure these girls it's the first time they probably played under Duckworth-Lewis, and you could see, well, we could just about see them walking off looking incredibly disappointed, when actually what they've done is they've secured their first ever win in the 2020 International. So what you don't want to do when you get your first win is have the players leaving the field disappointed. Yeah, both teams looked disappointed when they left. Spain had actually registered, what they didn't know at the time is they'd registered their first win, so it's a strange situation. We're not going to confirm start time for tomorrow because there might be some meetings taking place that we're not aware of to see how we can better get the 3 games done in the day. So we will be back in the morning. I can't imagine us starting any earlier than 8:30. So what we'll do is we'll have our breakfast early tomorrow, and we will look to update you around about or even just before 8 o'clock. So we'll see you for coverage then. Hope you enjoyed it today. Thea Brooks here. Andrew Elliott here, wishing you a very good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.